You don't need a precog to tell you that you're going to watch a movie where Tom Cruise spends a lot of it just running around. Now grab your tickets, because we're getting to the theater. Hello and welcome to the theater. I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Corey.
I'm Jeremy.
I realize I messed up that opening line. I'll go back and fix it in post. Okay. This week we're talking about 2002's Minority Report, directed by Steven Spielberg. Jeremy, since you picked this movie, do you want to give us a brief breakdown of what this movie's about?
Minority Report is about it's a sci-fi action thriller about this detective who works for a company where they essentially use psychics to stop murderers before they can actually commit their crime. So it's like one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Like one of those think pieces about putting punishment before the crime and whether or not that's right or wrong. But yeah, he ends up on the wrong side of this system and then has to try and figure out a way to stop himself from getting punished.
That's it, yeah. Tom Cruise is playing pre-crime police chief John Anderton.
Can we talk about why it's called pre-crime and not pre-murder? Because they don't stop any other crime.
Yeah.
I guess it flows better.
Does it?
Pre-crime, pre-murder.
I didn't even think about that. But they really don't stop any other.
They need to start stopping these jaywalkers. I'll tell you that.
Because you can kind of predict when
I
that's going to
can see
happen.
you about to walk that street. Gone.
I guess because the punishment that they're giving these people is like, I mean, it's kind of severe because they're completely taking these people's freedom
That's
away.
what it
Right?
looks like.
Locking them suspended animation.
Yeah, like you don't even get to be awake anymore. So
You didn't commit a crime, but this thing said you were going to,
yeah.
so we're going to lock you up.
They actually might have something to do with the psychics themselves that they can't, they don't really see less severe crimes because they're just not as heinous as murders.
Apparently, they've never seen SVU.
I don't know. Whatever triggers their visions, maybe it's not like severe enough or something like that.
Maybe.
The pre-crime division, they have 3 people with psychic abilities who spend all their time in this nutrient-rich milk bath. It's basically just like murky water that they sleep in. It's 2 twins, Arthur and Dashiell and Agatha. And they're linked up together. And it's kind of like triangulating. So without all 3 of them, the system cannot work. Mm-hmm. And they basically just have visions of, hey, this crime is about to happen. And they mush all those visions together.
But wouldn't it work? I think they say it would work if they took one of the twins, but because they took Agatha, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, the twins wouldn't follow because she was the most powerful.
Agatha is the most powerful one. But the title Minority Report comes from that all 3 of them see a different vision, and the system will automatically pick whichever 2 visions share the most similarities. So they're the majority report, which is a term they never use in the film, but that's what it is. And the one that has the least similarities, the minority report, is considered to be rejected. And the system doesn't really apply it too much. But we learn later that minority report is stored inside the precog who had the vision. Mm-hmm. Fun thing, though, I learned that this movie was actually written by one of the people, Scott Frank, actually wrote Logan.
Did he?
He was one of the writers on Logan.
Nice.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see no comparison.
It was a lot of years of time to develop his writing style. So
That's true.
I mean, there's 15 years.
Yeah.
This movie also was inspired by a short story by Philip K. Dick, same guy who wrote Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which inspired Blade Runner. Jeremy just told us that Philip K. Dick also wrote Total Recall.
Mm-hmm. And if you've ever seen The Man in the High Castle, that as well.
Oh,
No.
the show?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know that the Amazon Prime show, where like alternate world where Nazis won World War II. Very Wolfenstein-esque.
It's very good.
Yep, he wrote that as well.
Oh, I
saw
want
it.
to watch that. Oh, okay.
He wrote a lot of
Sounds
stuff.
wild.
So we have at the beginning of this film, we see that they're about to. They got a red ball, which is a murder that is
Not premeditated.
Not premeditated, spontaneous. A brown ball is something that's premeditated, and they don't get a lot of those. They said anymore because this program, it's 2054. This program has been in effect for 6 years, and in that 6 years, they pretty much dropped the murder rate
to zero.
In the first few months, they dropped it by 90%.
Yeah.
So there's no murder, and this is also just in the District of Columbia. This program has not gone worldwide.
I think they're supposed to vote on it pretty soon.
Yes, by the end of the movie, they vote on it. But
Are going to vote on it.
yeah, but Colin Farrell is brought in by the Justice Department, I believe, and he is basically supposed to evaluate this program to see the human errors in it. So we get all the exposition at the beginning, and it feels kind of natural because Colin Farrell is that outside character. He's basically the audience surrogate, and they're explaining to him while Tom Cruise is reviewing this red ball that just dropped that the three precogs, they work together, basically everything we just said. And Tom Cruise is watching this video of a man murdering his wife and what looks like her lover. And it keeps cutting back and forth between Tom Cruise watching this footage of things that haven't happened yet to the man in the video. He's like getting ready for work. He's trying to talk to his wife. His wife seems very put out. Like she doesn't.
He's very suspicious because he's trying to do everything to stay home.
Yeah.
And she's like, but don't you have this? I have an open house. You don't need to be home.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm glad you're so dressed up for that open house.
I wouldn't even say like she was put out. It seems more like she was distracted. Like he was trying to talk to her. She's trying to get her kid ready for school because the kid's like reading the Declaration of Independence or something.
I think she just didn't care about him anymore.
Yeah.
She's been cheating.
Yeah,
from what the
she's like,
vision
look,
showed."
my other guy's outside. I need you to go.
Which is weird. Okay, one, you never bring your sneaky link into the house. And then two, why is he just standing out there looking into his house?
He's just standing across the street looking at their house.
Yeah.
Did you hear her say in the one scene, no, not the bed, not the bed?
Yeah.
Like she was trying her best to keep it out of the actual bed. Trifling.
For real.
But this guy's dressed like John Constantine.
He is.
Yes.
Like legit
John Constantine's a terrible guy.
He has the white shirt. He's got the little brown raincoat. Or he could be dressed like Professor Loomis from Halloween.
Yes.
But basically, this guy leaves for work, and as soon as he's gone, the wife brings the boyfriend in, and he hadn't actually left. He was hiding behind a tree watching, and he goes back inside. At the same time, Tom Cruise is watching this footage. They can't exactly pinpoint the location.
But he's looking at the two photos, and the kid is facing different directions, and he's like, "How is this possible?" And he's using his hand to just switch them, and he's like, "A merry-go-round."
Which is a dumb conclusion to come to.
Like I never in my life thought that from seeing those two photos.
Because my brain was like, oh no, okay, maybe it's two different points in time. Like the kid, like it would have been a Minority Report, but nope.
Yeah, I was thinking it was some kind of glitch.
Yeah.
But no, Tom Cruise immediately, like, after moving these two frames back and forth where the kid is facing opposite directions in that split time, he's like, oh, he's on a carousel or a merry-go-round.
Maybe he took his kid to one before, and he was just kind of thinking, like his mind was kind of alone at what a kid would be doing.
Could be. And this is 2002, but the movie is set in 2054. But yeah.
Yeah, they didn't know kids don't go outside anymore.
Right. Kids go outside now, so we'll have kids going outside then.
Yeah.
And they managed to get there, but when they get there, they still don't know the exact address. And he has to ask his man at the office, Jad.
With
Weird
a D.
name.
You're right, yeah. Played by Steve Harris.
Every time first time I saw him, I was like, I have not seen this man uncrippled and outside of drowning in a bathtub in a very long time.
What was that?
Diary of a Mad Black Woman.
Yeah, that's the only other place I've seen that guy.
Ever.
Wait, he drowned in that?
She was drowning him. That's all I
he didn't
remember.
drown, but
Yeah.
he was about to.
Yeah,
I just remember him as the abusive husband.
Yeah, and then he gets crippled.
Right.
And he gets in the bathtub and he's like half drowning. And I just remember him looking up to her half drowning. And I was like, wow, that really stuck with me.
Okay, yeah. See, I don't remember that part. I just remember him being a piece of shit husband in that movie.
Oh, he definitely was.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Okay. So he's basically Tom Cruise is asking him, hey, did our suspect, whose name I don't remember and I'm having trouble finding it.
Leo Crow?
No, Leo Crow's the guy later on.
It's Howard Cross? Henry Cross?
Let's go with Howard.
Okay.
Sounds fine. Sounds right.
But he's asking, did Howard close the door? And no, he didn't. The front door is still open. So Tom Cruise rushes in the one door he sees open. He gets upstairs. The wife and the lover were in the bathroom, and they come out and they lay on the bed. And Howard had come up and like sunken next to the bed.
It's really funny though because he's like standing in the doorway, watching them just sipping on his little juice.
No, he wasn't. He was just holding the cup.
He was sipping on the juice too.
But how do they not see him next to the bed?
They were really into it.
They were.
Really wrapped up in love.
But he stands up and he's watching them for a second and he's like, I forgot my glasses. And then they're like, oh shit, Howard's here.
I need to point out that the level of calm that Howard stood up, just like he just slowly stood up. I don't even think he looked at them while he was standing up. And he's just like, I forgot my glasses. And it was just like he already knew he was about to kill them.
Yeah.
He had the scissors.
Yeah. Like he was just way too calm in that moment, the way he stood up.
After he was sobbing on the side of the
Yeah.
bed.
Yeah.
Just like, I forgot my glasses. You know, I just can't see without my glasses. I'm
Which
like,
was
bro.
another thing we saw in the prevision.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
We saw all this happen in the prevision. But in that, he actually kills them. And Tom Cruise runs in and tackles this guy practically through a window.
I just want to say real fast before we jump into that. For a man who can't see without his glasses, how you make it out the house without your glasses? I can't make it to the bathroom without my glasses.
Fact. I am a witness to that. She cannot.
Like, I turn into Velma the moment my contacts come
Oh,
out.
my
Like,
glasses.
it is.
Oh, you know I can't stab without my glasses.
He had to be suspecting something because like he left and then wasn't he standing next to that tree?
Yeah, he was like
watching
he
the
was
house.
watching from behind a tree, like that meme of Spice Adams.
You
Yeah.
could tell from his like energy and all that from him conversating with her. He knew, and she was just trying to get him out,
Yeah.
so she could have him come in.
Because he even mentions the guy standing across the street
Yeah.
to his wife, and she has some kind of
did
dismissive
he?
comment
Yeah.
about it, like, "Oh, it's probably nothing."
So he had to be suspecting the
Of
whole
course.
time. That's
Yeah.
probably why he ran out of the house without
His glasses.
because he was just so ready to go out there and just start spying on the fucking house. He just forgot about it.
Thinking that leaving the glasses will be a good reason to come back in the house. You know, I left my glasses and I can't see.
I can't see.
How did you leave without them?
How'd you get outside, put on your clothes?
I'd be like, he can't see you. It's fine. Just lay still.
His vision's based on movement. Don't worry, this movie's directed by Steven Spielberg. This man's like a T-Rex. If that T-Rex had some glasses, it would have gotten those kids. But when they leave to go stop this murder, they have these little drop ships.
Oh my god.
And you don't really see it much here, but you'll see it later, that when the officers are in it and they're being deployed to the ground, it's almost like they're coming down a zip line. But like the seats they're in move like a carousel,
Oh.
like a conveyor.
Okay.
So like the ones near the closest to the door, they move and drop the person out, and then they get pulled down under the floor, and the next one comes after it.
Oh.
Yeah, you see it later when Tom Cruise is being chased in the alley.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
That was like, why is it like that? Why can't they just have normal seats? And I'm just like, shh.
The cars in
It's a-
this universe are dumb as hell
Yeah.
anyway.
Or like a helicopter, just open the side door, people jump out.
I was like, hush,
Well-
it's a futuristic movie.
Right.
It blew my mind seeing all the wires when you also see in one of the many chase scenes jetpacks
Those jetpacks
from
are
the
so
same
dumb.
people.
That is
It's
the
like-
same
it's like-
thing.
Yes.
It's like
Those
why-
jetpacks looked ridiculous.
Oh my gosh! It looked like what is it? The second Santa Claus movie.
That's exactly
Where
what we
Tom-
said.
Yes, they were like this.
Well, we said the first. Erica and I were watching it last night, and she goes, "You know what this looks like?" And I said, "The kids from the Santa Claus."
Yep.
It looks so much like
Looks
that.
so much like it.
But I will say though, the Santa Claus does not have an overexposed, grainy white filter over everything. This movie looks fucking terrible.
it looked so bad.
And I'm sorry, Steven Spielberg. He's my favorite director because he directed my favorite film, Jurassic Park. But this movie just looks so bad. Like the overexposure. Everyone's got a big, bright white outline around them. Everything just looks so grainy and gross.
Like, and I don't know why he thought this was a good idea.
He's trying something out.
It
Trying
didn't-
that new filter out.
I hated it.
Try that new filter out. He's trying to be like, hey, now you're gonna know you're looking at a memory because you can't see it.
Man, when we were done watching this and it went back to the menu on Paramount Plus, I'm walking out of the room. Erica goes, "There's a 4K version of this." I was like, "I think we watched the 4K version. It just looks like shit."
It was bad.
This is also apparently the first movie to be this is the first movie to be produced digitally. Like all the storyboarding was done on digital displays, not actual storyboards.
Good for them. It was really nice seeing the OG DreamWorks logo. I was like, man, look at Shrek.
Yeah, now it's all high definition. That kid's getting up, moving around.
Yeah.
On this one, it's just the fishing pole comes down and we go up to the moon.
And it says good old nostalgia.
Yeah.
DreamWorks.
To go to the most plain title card of Times New Roman, Minority Report.
Yeah, but I will say we don't have any gross early 2000s rock music playing.
True.
Hey, pump the brakes.
No Limp Bizkit rolling through.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, what do you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
We go from that arrest to I think it's one of this. I feel like this whole bit could have been cut down to like a minute, but it's that scene where Tom Cruise is running in the middle of the night. He's taking a jog.
I don't even know why they needed this scene.
He's
I
because
think
it's
it
got
just
a
sets up his
drug
his
addiction.
drug addiction. But it goes on for too long. There's so much of the scene is him running into frame.
looking at different people. Wait, was he looking at different?
No, this is the middle of the night when there's no one around.
Oh yeah,
It's
he's
raining.
just running down the street and ran into
Yeah,
the guy.
but it's just the whole scene could have just been him walking around and walking up to his dealer.
And you hear the dealer just talking some bullshit about nothing.
The dealer knows who he is, knows he's a cop. He's like, "You need some clarity, man."
Yeah.
Something like that. And he gets his fix, and they don't tell us immediately what it is. He just has those little inhalators, and he throws one, and he's like, "Come on, man, don't give me an empty one." But the guy, and I don't know what the point of this is, the guy gets up and he says something about, in the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And this guy leans into the light and takes his glasses off, and he's got no eyes. He's just got open eye sockets.
That shit was sick.
Yeah, but the CGI does not look good in this film.
No.
It looks bad, and the CGI looks bad when they are when the machine's carving out the little victim perpetrator balls for the precogs. Those look really bad.
wait, what? Oh, making the
Yeah,
I was like,
carving the little wooden balls.
man, I didn't hear you say what. I was like, whose balls are he?
Oh God,
I was like, there's only two twins. I was like,
the guy who takes care of him down in the pool.
he's a creep.
So
Yeah.
creepy.
So yeah, this is one of those many scenes that could have been cut down, and made way shorter. He goes back to his apartment in his ugly ass car.
Well, they gotta show the importance of when he leans in. They had to do that.
Yeah, we definitely needed that. We need to see this guy who we never see again in the film. There's no mention of him.
It's just to get it in your head. Like I didn't think about it till it happened at the end, and I was like, oh,
Unless
so
this guy,
that's possible.
or unless this guy went through the botched eyeball surgery and he went blind. But
Yeah.
we don't talk about that.
Yeah. They could have said something about how how everybody, when you're walking around, the thing scans your fucking eyes, and that's how people know where you are. That's how the ads know. That's how they have personalized ads.
They're too targeted.
Man, those ads are awful.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if you're
he's-
walking around with no fucking eyes in your head, then you don't get that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you put someone else's.
Mr. Yomato.
Or that.
When they said the name, I was like, he was like,
Even he was kind of taken aback by the name.
it
But
cracked me up. He's like, that's a tough one.
yeah, he's like, that's not going to work. So he goes back to his apartment after he gets his little drugs, and his apartment is disgusting.
Yes.
My God.
It's filthy. There's just trash and shit everywhere. But he starts watching old
Home movies.
home movies on these little glass disc, almost like a petri dish.
It looks like the old floppy disks, but without the floppy inside of it.
Yeah.
You remember instead of the squares,
Yep.
they went to the round, or what holds a PSP game.
I was
Yes,
just about
exactly
to say
what
that.
it looks
That
like.
is a
Yes.
perfect analogy.
What holds a PSP game.
But it's just like a little flat piece of glass. And he's watching film reels of his son, Sean, and we learn later that 6 years ago, Sean went missing. He was abducted at the public pool, and they never found him. They never found who did it. And so Tom Cruise is kind of haunted by this through this entire fucking movie.
Honestly, I feel like this is the greatest kidnapper to ever exist because the way
Oh, he just snatched that kid right up.
with so many people around.
We don't see it till later on in the movie.
Well, exact. My
But
bad. Yeah,
no,
keep going,
we can
keep
talk about
going.
it now. We're already talking about it.
Well, what blew my mind is in my opinion, I'm at a public pool and I see a man with his son for however long they had already been swimming and doing this. He's timing his son, and I don't know where he goes underwater, and then the son gets grabbed by another man. Not one dad in that whole pool is going to say something or stop him.
No
Lies.
mom in that thing didn't say anything.
Well,
It's like, is
very
that your
true.
kid?
Well, very true,
The
very
kid
true.
didn't start kicking and screaming. I mean, this is a crowded fucking pool.
Oh,
Like, we're watching it. Like, I wouldn't go there. Like, when we went to the water park a couple years ago, I wouldn't have gotten in the pool if it looked like that. There's
It's like
so many fucking people.
It's like
So
a
many.
wave pool.
yeah,
that's
it's
how
like
crowded-
a wave pool.
Yeah.
Like if you do this, you're touching somebody.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you extend your arm, I'm touching the person next to me. That's how many people are in this shot. And this guy just snatches this kid up like it's nothing. Like a dime on the floor.
Tom Cruise goes underwater for not even
10 seconds.
Yeah, and then first of all, two kids swim out. And he's like, "Oh, everybody's having fun. Here's my watch. Where you at?"
Yeah. No one saw or said anything when this kid got.
The greatest kidnapper in the world.
He's like walking around like fucking Snidely Whiplash getting Smurfs. He's just got a bag and he threw over this kid and he just carried him out. No, these are just pool towels. Don't worry about it.
Harry Potter's invisible cloak.
Yeah.
just right off the rip.
Something.
Like the kids next to him.
The kid's feet are in the fucking water.
Yeah, that's what blew my mind. Man.
Just snatch this kid right up. And so he's watching these movies. He's getting high on his non-specific drugs. They never exactly say what it is. They just say later that it's like 15 years in jail for it or something like that.
It's weed. It's 100%
It's
a future weed.
It's just pure THC.
It's a future weed.
What confusion weed?
Yeah. I'm going down to the store to get some future weed. You want anything?
Get that chronic.
Yes, get me a
Get it.
strain of Sticky Icky. It's me, Max von Sydow. He's also watching videos of his wife, Laura.
Lyra.
Lara?
Lyra is
Sorry.
how they pronounce it.
Lara.
God, the names in this movie.
It's future Laura.
Yes, future Laura.
That's future.
I gotta look up Lara's actress's name.
It's Catherine Shaw. Because she played Lily Rush in Cold Case.
Catherine Morris.
I was close.
You lied to me.
I was close.
Cold
I've
Case.
only ever seen her in Cold Case.
And when I told Erica about this movie, I was like, oh yeah, Tom Cruise's wife is the lady from Cold Case. And in this movie, she has the worst haircut you're ever going to see. And Erica said, I've seen Cold Case. Her hair was pretty bad. I was like, no. Wait until we watch this film. Her haircut's fucking awful. The wig they have this lady wearing.
It was the weirdest style I've ever seen.
And Erica pulled up a picture of like her season 1 Cold Case haircut.
it's so bad.
She has blonde hair that entire show, and this she's a brunette. And it looks like your little kid cut her hair because she's got random strands hanging down.
It was that style.
And she goes, "This is pretty bad." And I said, "No. Wait till we get to Minority Report. It's so much worse." And it's just like her hair is just up in like a ball. Makes her head look very round. It's not good.
It's not good.
Someone from the dressing department should have walked by and been like, no.
It's like they tried to make her older than what she is. Because she's only 33 in the movie. Or the actress is only 33.
Yeah.
So she might be trying to play like a 40-year-old. So they're like, we got to age you up, ma'am.
Wow, you're about to be the same age as she was in this film.
Yeah.
Or maybe she just lives out. She lives alone, and who even knows where the fuck she lives? So she just don't even take care of her fucking hair.
That's true.
It
She
just
lives
looks
on
like shit.
that lake house,
The true man she loves.
waiting for him to come back.
I can't be with him anymore.
She says that she says later that, and the wife is important because in this scene, it makes it seem like she's dead too.
I thought she was dead till
The
she
whole-
shows up
the
halfway
whole
through the
time.
movie. I was like, oh my god.
He watches old videos of her too, and there's no mention of them not being together for a while. But yeah, in this scene, it does at first viewing make it seem like she was dead. And I'll say for our listeners, this movie was new to everyone but me. I've seen this movie 20 years ago when it first came out. I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan, so I never really revisited it. But it was exciting that this is new to all of you guys.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd seen it. It was not.
I'd seen the show with Megan Good.
And see, I'd never seen the show.
There's a show.
It was pretty good. It
didn't
only
last
lasted
very
one
long.
season, yeah.
Yeah. So him and Lara aren't together anymore. She mentions later in the film that the reason they got divorced was because it was too heartbreaking. Every time she looked at him, she saw her son. His smell reminded her of her son, and it was just too much for her to handle. So they had to split up. The next day,
After watching the replays,
Yep.
getting loose on the goose.
oh, there was that cereal box.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was animated.
Yeah, it was like pine and oat cereal, and
yeah.
the box was singing and shit. Dude, that would get on my nerves so fast.
But like as a kid,
As a kid, you'd love it.
It
loved
confused.
It's like almost
me.
having like a cartoon on your cereal box.
Yeah.
Like that's a real iPad kid.
That's next level advertisement right
Yeah,
Yes.
and he's like he sets the box down like almost like a snooze button, and it doesn't work, and he just hucks it across the room.
Exactly.
I just thought that would be awful to have in the middle of the night if my cereal box started singing.
Can you
Oh
imagine?
no, the sugar smack frog's coming to get me.
Can you imagine trying to sneak that? You can't sneak snacks when they're yelling at you.
Timmy, are you getting into the cereal again? They're great. No. I hear Tony.
It's not that, Tony.
So he goes to work the next day, and Colin Farrell is basically like, look, there's definitely flaws in this system.
it's a young Colin Farrell too, 26 years old.
Yeah, he had a little babyface Colin Farrell in this movie. It was wild. And I like Colin Farrell's character in general in this film, but he open mouth chewing with this gum
He was
Like a
smacking
fucking
left
animal.
and right through this film.
and just. So tell me how this works, John. It's like stop, fucking stop it, Colin Farrell. His name is Danny Whitmer.
Whitworth.
But I'll tell you right now, he's a smart FBI agent.
He was good at his job.
He was very
And
fucking good at his job.
I thought he was going to be bad.
That's what the movie wants you to think.
They did good.
like
Should we wait till later
Yes.
for the reveal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We're not going to reveal
I
it
just
now.
want to say, like, the movie was supposed to have me rooting against him, but the whole time I was like, I do not like Tom Cruise, but I'm rooting for Colin Farrell.
No, this pre-crime program is good idea. You're stopping crime,
But you can't.
but you're arresting people who haven't technically done anything.
Yeah, you can't. There's no
Is it-
right to arrest except for premeditated murder. You can arrest for that.
Yeah.
That's something you could arrest for.
Right.
But that,
Yes.
but like literally with that, you can't keep them for like more than a certain number of years.
Because they never did the crime.
Right,
I
I
mean, yeah, you
forgot.
were planning on killing someone, but
But it has to be caught on the attempt. Like, it's not like, I was planning this, or I don't know. Who knows? Maybe just catching enough plans and you can get it. Who knows? But
they run under the same rules as Catholic guilt.
yes,
Whereas if you thought it, you did it.
that's 100%.
That's how Minority Report operates.
Well, it also
I
runs-
thought about killing my wife. I'm guilty. But this is just what the movie made me think of, and it didn't help that Colin Farrell's character is Catholic. He carries around this little pendant that he
He's
kisses
got-
every now and
Not
then.
just Catholic. The man is from Dublin, and they wouldn't let him have his accent.
Yeah, what the
like
fuck was that
he
about?
is Irish.
Let this man talk with that natural, sexy Irish accent, and they're like, "No, I just sound like a flat American." Oh, and chew that gum.
Chew the fuck out of that gum.
Don't you stop. And put on this big, almost like a zoot suit. We
so
want you wearing a
big.
suit that's 2 times too big for you, and it's got that double-breasted button on the front. We want you looking like Steve Harvey on the set of this fucking film.
Every suit in these early 2000s, late 90s, every style was that loose, not tailored.
Dude,
or
his suits
anything.
look so bad on him because they just look like they were made for a bigger person.
They definitely
were.
wanted you to hate him.
Yeah. The only thing it was missing would be we never get a scene of him putting gum in his mouth.
Oh,
Like those
that's true.
obnoxious things people would do in
Oh,
a lot of movies. Yes.
He had that future gum.
Yeah.
You see,
Never seen him.
Exactly.
you see it break and everything. It's
Yes.
like, oh, I gotta.
You can't have someone talking about chewing gum in a movie with Tom Cruise because that just takes everyone right back to Mission Impossible 1 with the gum explosive.
Movie.
That is one of your favorite franchises. I got Erica hooked on Mission Impossible a couple years ago.
I do love Mission Impossible.
So he is.
Yeah. So
Danny is there to just make sure this system works because he doesn't necessarily like it either.
Well, he says that he's like, there's got to be a flaw because, and he's like, there's no chance. He's like, it's man-made, so there's going to be, or it's human, so there's going to be a human flaw.
Yes, and he also asked, "Did you ever get any false positives?" And Tom Cruise is like, the precogs don't give false positives. They don't see what you intend to do. They see what you're going to do.
He's so cocky with it too, because he like immediately rolls that ball down the thing.
Yeah, they have this like circular glass table.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's basically their computer.
And Colin Farrell catches it, and then he's like, "Why'd you catch it?" He's like, "Because it's gonna fall." And he's like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "See?"
But it didn't because you caught it.
I'd been like this. All right, well, let me go ahead and arrest you now because I know you're going to do some weed tonight. Let me go ahead and arrest you.
Well, he doesn't know that yet.
I would be that person that I would think of anything that we can do illegally. And I'd be like this. Well, I know at some point you're going to do that because everybody does it. I'm just going to arrest you now.
But luckily, the precogs don't detect that. The precogs only detect murder. It's not like they're detecting like shoplifting.
Or rape.
Right.
Or like Max von Sydow comes rushing in. He goes, "Someone stole my lunch from the fridge. I want you to get Agatha to tell me who did it." "Sir, we can't use the..." "No, listen to me, Tom Cruise. Someone stole... My wife made me that sandwich with love, and someone ate it. Was it you, Neil McDonald?" Sorry, Neil McDowell.
Which one's he?
He is Fletcher.
Is he the blonde one?
He's the blonde guy with the bright blue eyes. The guy that plays a villain in everything.
He was so good in the...
He was good. I liked him. I even liked his character. Like he's not a piece of shit.
He likes to be the villain.
Yeah, he loves to play. And we've talked about this at work before. He likes to play the villain and shit, which he's good at. He's good at playing a bad guy. But I like seeing him play out of type, and he's playing a good guy in this.
He is. And then they give him that slight little... Everybody has a slight little change up to where it's like this.
They're tired of chasing Tom Cruise. They're like, "Look, man,
Yep.
this is our fourth chase. Can you just stop?" But he's not as much of an asshole as that other guy. Not.
Oh, yeah. The guy
one
that...
like the fucking attitude.
he
I think
just
he's the
wants
one
to
that
beat his ass.
Yeah, I think he's the one that Tom Cruise jumps on the jetpack later on and he hits him with the six stick. I think it's that guy. But that guy just seems like a prick throughout the entire movie.
He really does.
Yeah.
He wanted that job.
Yeah.
For a reason.
And Colin Farrell's like, "Well, I want to see the precogs." And we don't go down there. We call that the temple. We don't go down there. We have very little interaction with them. There's one guy that does interact with them. He's kind of like their caretaker. He's creepy as fuck later on. When we first meet him,
He's a sweet guy.
he seems
Just like a nerd.
like a nerd.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like your stereotypical Hollywood nerd.
Kind of like the one making sure that no one takes power over them.
Like
you know what
they're
I mean?
respected, even though they're seen as tools. But later, they just turn him into a creep.
And
And they don't go full creep like that guy from Terminator 2 that licks Sarah Connor's face.
Oh, yeah.
We don't go full creep, but we're almost there. Faces are getting real close together.
And the way he's holding her and talking about her, he's like, did he hurt you, my girl? Are you okay? And
Well, he's
like,
brushing their teeth was kind of funny.
Yeah.
That was definitely his girl.
Yeah.
It was like, please don't leave him alone with her.
I'm surprised they
it was
didn't
a
name him
teeth
Buck.
brushing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
Buck.
He might
Yeah.
be the
I don't get the
reason no
reference.
one goes in there.
Kill Bill.
He's probably like this.
Oh.
You can't be in here. This is my rule.
His name was Wally, I believe. Yeah, Wally the caretaker.
Yeah, that's a
Wally.
nerd name.
Played by
I've ever heard
Daniel
one.
Landon. Daniel London, sorry.
I wonder if he ever made it after this movie.
I don't know.
I'm probably ruined him.
But Colin Farrell is basically like, "Look, I have a warrant in my pocket that says I'm in control here." And Tom Cruise is like, "Let me see that." And when he shows it to him, Colin Farrell basically has that moment from like Batman Begins where he's like, "Didn't you get the memo?" Where he's like, "I'm in control now, John." He goes, "I guess no one told you."
Yeah, he's like, you've been left out of the loop.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what he says. You've been left out of the loop. And Tom Cruise is mad. Like, they're walking toward the temple door, and the retinal scanner hits Colin Farrell. Like, access denied. And Tom Cruise doesn't even stop. He just keeps right on walking past him, and the door opens immediately. And it's like, "Welcome, Chief Anderton." And they walk down around the pool, and they're like, look, we got to be quiet in here. They're sleeping. Don't touch them. Don't touch the milky water with all their nutrients and shit in it. And Colin Farrell is just basically asking Wally, like...
And he was respectful, at least. Like, he's like, I get it, because he is a...
He's just trying to do his job.
Colin Farrell's there just to do his job. He wants to make sure this process works.
And
he doesn't want to put people... He doesn't like the idea of putting people who have not committed a crime in jail.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to.
Right. He basically asks them, how does this work? And he explains kind of what we talked about at the beginning. They're a unit, all three of them. Agatha is the strongest. And they each see a vision, and the computer displays it all. There's like a 3-screen display overhead as well as inside the control room.
That shows each of their perspectives from it.
Yes, which is why the visions are so scrambled, because it's from 3 separate precogs.
Tom Cruise has that shitty line of, it's best if you don't think of them as human.
Oh,
Yes.
gosh, he did.
Yes.
Because
they're like basically in a chemically induced coma.
Well,
Almost.
at this time of the movie, he thinks that they're not human
He
made.
sees them as tools.
Yeah.
Well, you see later in the movie, unless I misheard it, like he doesn't. They don't think that they're actually made from humans.
Oh,
like they're
he
not
thinks they're
actually
like,
natural born.
Yes,
they
he
think that
thinks they're
they're
almost
made
like
in a
test tube
lab.
babies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Can we still say that? Can we still say the phrase test
It
tube
says
baby?
it in the movie.
Well, this movie's 20 years old.
That's fair. I get. Yeah, that's fair.
He doesn't think he thinks they're basically lab experiments.
In the story, it's they're deformed.
She does. One of them's the late.
All 3 of them in the
Later.
story.
Oh,
all
they
3
are
of them in the
actually.
story are deformed. Like I don't even think they can. Apparently, they're not even
Function.
aware of.
The outside world.
Yeah,
The lady
they're not even
says
aware
that.
of it.
They don't have like really any cognitive ability.
They're deformed. I think it had something to do with maybe the psychic ability diminished.
Everything else.
Everything
that have
else.
So much power.
I can't remember exactly, but they like them getting out of that machine and like looking normal. That was not. It wasn't like that in the story. I think he might have also said that line
The lady
in the
says it.
story about don't think of them as
Human.
yeah.
Yeah, because Tom Cruise says that to Danny in this scene.
I think he said it to him.
But I think something similar comes up from Dr. Hyman later on.
She
Says something very similar, but not exactly.
She says that these are the only ones that survived their tests
Yeah.
because the other ones were like how the book describes them.
Yeah.
She's like
Yes.
they're morbidly deformed and this and that. She's like, y'all think of these as like deities and gods or whatever. She's like, these are just the ones that survived.
Yeah,
And it's
she's a little
like-
bit more charismatic about them, a little bit.
But I think she also recognizes them as human, but she was able to turn it off because she was like, I don't know if they're this way because of what we did to them or what was done to them or if they came about like naturally. She's like, this might have been our fault.
Yeah, they were experimenting on kids, and most of them died except for these 3.
Because they were like, no one's going to really care about these drug addicted kids.
Yeah.
So Colin Farrell gets his answers from Wally. He's talking about how, I think right before this, he mentions how he's a cop because like his father was gunned down on the steps of their church in Dublin.
I thought we get that in the elevator.
We got that before the elevator.
Okay.
But in this scene, he's basically talking about how the deity thing, like you guys just mentioned,
Oh yeah.
and
Jad compares themselves to like the clergy or something.
yeah, and Tom Cruise like, what are you guys laughing about? You got work to do. Get out of here. And everyone leaves, and Tom Cruise is like, sees Agatha's eyes are open, and they're basically comatose. And he's like waving his hand in front of her face, and she's not really reacting to it. And he gets down real low to the water, and she grabs him, and she's like, "Can you see? Can you see?" And she starts having a vision above her of a woman drowning. And Wally's like, "What'd you do? What'd you do?" "I didn't do anything. She grabbed me." He goes, "That's not possible. They're on drugs. They're not supposed to move." And he says that she spoke to him. And then he goes down to the archive, and basically like the holding cell. They have all the prisoners in like those like little tubes that you keep batteries in like a flashlight. where you can keep them in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
they're
little Barbie packaging.
yes,
honestly.
yes. That's a better comparison. And they're like, they go down into the floor, and the caretaker down there is Gideon, who's played by Tim Blake Nelson, who plays. He's going to be an MCU villain coming up soon, I believe, in the new Captain America 4.
And I think he's
He's
Kimmy
reprising
Schmidt's
that.
dad in
No.
the Unbelievable or Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Is he really?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
He was the bad guy in Holes.
He was.
He was the counselor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was one of the bad guys. Yeah, he's good at playing a bad guy.
I think that was the first time I ever saw him. Was in
Really?
Holes, yeah.
Oh wow.
Same.
Good movie.
But he plays Gideon. He's basically the jailer. And Tom Cruise is saying, "I want to see anything you have on a victim that drowned." And
Yeah.
Gideon says, "Okay, I got you. We'll pull that up. That narrows it down."
To like 200. It was
Very
like,
small.
Yeah.
And they find a guy who's in the pre-crime lockup, which basically is kind of like Demolition Man, except for they're not in like a jelly tube, but they are alive and unconscious.
Yeah, they're just
Off.
yeah.
Well, aren't they like stuck in like their
A perpetual dream state.
yeah, their idyllic world? It's like it's
Matrix?
no, it's like when you get trapped by a jinn will lock you into
It's like a jinn-
your like best dream, and while they slowly kill you.
It's like in Naruto, they're trapped in like a genjutsu.
Okay. I never watched Naruto.
That scene, just the whole setup kind of also reminded me of The Matrix.
Oh, that's a
Okay, yeah. Matrix.
Yeah.
I've never seen
Yeah.
The Matrix.
Oh,
First one's worth watching.
What?
first one is
Yeah,
definitely worth watching.
My mom and my brother really bonded over movies, and I let them have that. Yeah.
And now she's stuck with me. So he narrows it down. He finds this woman, Anne Lively, and she's a missing person.
But we don't know that yet.
No, they say in this scene
okay.
she's a missing because he asked for information on where she might be now. Missing person. The guy who was going to drown her, they have locked up in the pre-crime jail.
But he's still a John Doe.
He's a John Doe because
He changed his eyes.
changed his eyes. Apparently, they stopped using fingerprints. They stopped using dental records. They stopped using blood. They only go with eyes. No one ever loses their eyes. And they don't really know who he is. He's still a John Doe. It's been years at this point. Over 6 years.
And they never kept looking, and then somehow the lady was missing.
Yeah, because they stopped her from being drowned, and they have the guy. But after that, she went missing. So Tom Cruise, I love this future world they live in. They have all these like paper thin glass displays, but they still have analog technology.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the control room trying to stop a crime, they have information on one computer. They slide in a tablet-sized glass sheet to transfer information to that, and then they pull that out and put the tablet sheet into the big display to transfer the information to that. I love this futuristic but old analog style
Retro futuristic.
tech. I love that. It's so cool to me. And Tom Cruise has the same thing, like with the little memory disc, like how Corey compared it to a PSP card, and he puts one in the computer to copy that memory of Anne Lively. And Gideon's like, Chief, you can't do that. I can't let you take that out of here. And he goes, what else you been doing down here? But he takes that little disc over to his mentor and his boss, pretty much the director of pre-crime, played by Mr. Max von Sydow, R.I.P., Lamar Burgess. And Max von Sydow, and I don't know if it's because Tom Cruise is only like 5'8", but Max von Sydow is towering over everyone in this fucking movie.
How
He
tall is
is.
Max von Sydow?
Nowadays,
Oh,
he's
sorry.
not that tall.
Well, he might still be taller than me if we prop up his little body.
He's negative 6 feet.
Yeah. I don't know how tall he was, but yeah, I think he was taller than me, and I'm 6 feet.
I'm right at 6.
But there's a scene.
6'4".
Oh, fuck, yeah. So, Max von Sydow is sick. Tom Cruise brings him the little memory disc, we'll call it.
He's got a little cold. He's like, with all this technology, we still can't.
Yeah, because he's
Cure
looking
a
at the little
common
thing, and it's just Anne Lively's face underwater. Like it looks like she's already died because her eyes are just open and still. And he mentions the common cold thing, and he says something about Lara called me. She's worried about you. I'm worried about you. Look, you're getting a little obsessed with this Anne Lively thing.
At that time, Were the eyes still visible, or were they blacked out?
In the little memory disc?
Yeah.
Oh, you can still see him.
Okay, because I couldn't remember. There's a time where I swear every time I looked at the red dress and everything, the drowning part, it looked like the eyes were like that guy, and they were just gone. But
The goggles? Oh, okay. Oh, no, the blind guy. No, her eyes were there. She just looks like she's already been drowned in the little snip that we keep seeing on the disc. Because the disc keeps playing a portion of it before you put it in a machine to blow it up and play it big. And this is kind of where we learn that Laura is alive. She's not actually dead. I believe Colin Farrell has conversations with some of Tom Cruise's guys about him. I think we also get some context with him and Laura there. But Max von Sydow was talking about how Danny's here to take this away from us. We cannot trust him. And Tom Cruise he also mentions that if we had had this 6 years ago, we could have saved Sean. They're always bringing up Sean. And Tom Cruise is telling him basically, like, look, they're not going to take this from us. This is ours. And Tom Cruise is, like, very dedicated to use this because he's riddled with guilt over his son.
Brainwashed.
Right. So he's been kind of brainwashed to thinking, no, this system is perfect.
Mm-hmm. They picked the perfect goat or whatever it's called.
Stooge.
There we go.
Yeah, they're like, look, this guy lost his kid. He's gonna not question this stuff whatsoever.
Their best martyr.
And I think after he goes to visit Lamar, I think we go back to work the next day.
I think so, yeah.
And this is where it's like we got a red ball, and it's like the victim is some guy named Leo Crow.
I don't think it's a red ball. It's a brown ball.
You're right.
Later,
Yeah. This is premeditated. You're right.
36 hours or something like that.
Yes. This is 36 hours before this supposed crime. And they're like, wow, people don't really try that much anymore. And all they have right now on the precogs predictions is a man in a hotel room, what looks like Leo Crow. Mm-hmm. There's a man outside the window, and this is one of the dumber things for this movie for me.
Oh my god!
You're telling all this hyper sci-fi shit. These intelligent people, especially Colin Farrell's character, very intelligent.
It killed me.
They cannot tell that they're looking in this photo at a one-dimensional image of a man. Because this man that they're spending most of this movie, like, there's a third guy in this window. He's wearing sunglasses and an orange jacket. We got to find him. It's a billboard. And no one can fucking figure that out. No one figures it out until the end of the movie.
There's white surrounding this guy, too. And you're just like...
So, yeah, he's outside the window. Like, you can see Crow with his back to the window. This guy behind the window. There's a perpetrator with a gun. We got 3 people. And as Tom Cruise is manipulating this thing... we also... Sorry, real quick. We forgot to mention that when they are pulling up these pre-crime visions, there's also 2 witnesses.
Yes.
That are watching on displays behind the table.
Kind of like a judge and jury kind of
thing. I guess, to say that, hey, we got more eyes on this than just the pre-crime police.
Because they ask for permission to go and arrest them. Before they go out, they're like, review this code number, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Do you agree with it? We're watching it. We agree with it. Yes. Go on your way.
Mm-hmm. So it's more than just one person making the call.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a flawed system as it's the same 2 people.
It is a flawed system. The system doesn't... If you sit down and think about this for longer than 3 seconds, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, 100%.
It's so against someone's constitutional rights. Mm-hmm. They watch every case that he goes over, and he works the machine with these gloves. And I love these gloves because they only cover 3 of your fingers. But they just look like those gloves you see that are advertised specifically for people who work with their hands with little flashlights on the fingertips. That's all I could think about the entire time we were watching this film. When Tom Cruise is wearing them, when Colin Farrell's wearing them, when Neil McDowell, thank you, is wearing them later.
I just love how his original motions with it. He's just like, he's so focused. He's like,
it honestly is a lot like when Doctor Strange is casting a spell in the MCU. It's very similar to that. He's just spinning his hands a lot and he's moving them.
Thank you for giving them the visual.
Yeah,
because that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yes, it's very similar to Doctor Strange.
The setup for me reminded me of like an early 2000s, late 90s, like not Airhead commercial, but like an extreme commercial where it's like Mountain Dew or something, and it's like
Warheads, Doritos,
it's very in your face, and I was like, this is very much a product of its time.
Yeah, anyone you Google this film, and look at the pictures, one of the first things you're going to see is like the DVD cover art, and it's basically his hand with these light gloves right in front of his face, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what it was.
It's like a Tony Hawk ad.
Oh, Pro Skater 20.
Yeah.
2054.
Yeah, exactly. We're not even
but
using
yeah.
skateboards, hoverboards.
Which we don't have any of in this film. Sad.
Well, because they had those stupid ass cars.
They got a lot of stupid ass cars.
That didn't fly.
Nope.
They just magnetically
They don't need
on
that.
the
They got
ground.
jetpacks.
But then you see Lexus with a wheeled car.
Lexus is all over this
All
fucking
over
movie.
this movie.
But, yeah, there's two different styles of cars, which we're about to get to.
iRobot and then regular car.
Yep. So Colin Farrell the night before had actually snuck into Tom Cruise's apartment,
Oh,
and he found all the inhalators.
This is what made
He's
me
like, "I got
so
you."
mad. I hated him. After
But there
this
was nothing, and this is kind of a positive because it's less film. But there's no moment of him being like, I gotta get into Tom Cruise's house. I gotta investigate him specifically.
But like he's going in, no gloves, touching everything, contaminating the
Well,
evidence.
we already know they don't check fingerprints.
You're right. You're
Well,
right.
They don't need to check fingerprints. They got his eyes.
He ain't
this
gonna
is
get
what-
arrested.
Right.
True.
Well, this
true.
is what killed me. He had no legal reason to go in his house.
No.
He just broke in and collected all of his stuff because of what?
Because he doesn't like him.
He hadn't done anything. They just had one conversation. And he's like, I know you're bad. Do you see? I've been watching you watch videos of your son that's
You're
been
dead,
kidnapped.
kid.
I can't believe 6 years later you're not mourned over
Wait, is this
it
after
yet."
his name dropped? for
No.
Are we sure this isn't after his name dropped?
Who? Whose name dropped?
John Anderson.
No. This of him going in and stealing shit is before John's name drops.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because
he brings the inhalers and shows
In the elevator when John goes on the run.
Yeah.
because they collide.
Oh, he went to his office and
They
and found
collide
it.
Yeah,
after
yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise gets his ball.
Yeah.
Yep. So Tom Cruise is like going through this footage of Leo Crow, and he finally gets a look at the perpetrator, and
With
it's
Jad.
himself.
With Jad.
Yeah, Jad is like, "You good, Chief?" And he swipes the image away real quick.
And he's like, I need some food.
Yeah,
I need a
'cause
cake.
The red ball is about to drop, and Jad goes to grab it, and John is like, "Oh, I got it." Okay, yeah, it's cake too, isn't it? Yeah, he
Yeah.
asked him to go downstairs and get him a slice of cake, and Jad's like, I'll get some for myself too. I'm in a good mood. I'm chewing gum with my mouth open. Maybe Colin Farrell will like me now. We got things in common. And the like judges behind the screen are like, Chief Anderson, we don't understand what we're looking at. And he turns it off.
He ends their call, and then you got what Wally?
Wally. But
Wally.
he real quick, he's going through the footage as fast as he can.
Because he
To
can't
try to figure
understand
out
it.
what the fuck I'm looking at. Because it's
Yeah.
clearly him. And he's saying, goodbye, Crow. And he shoots Crow, and Crow flies out the window. And Wally sees it. 'Cause Wally's down in the temple watching the display above him.
This is the only time I actually liked Wally.
Yeah.
Like, because
yeah.
Wally's like, what the fuck? And he's like looking up, he gets up and looks at John. He's like, Chief, I really liked you.
He's like, you've always been nice to me.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
First of all, 2 minutes? What a dick.
He gets pretty fucking far in 2 minutes, though. This building's not that big.
Well, we know one thing about Tom Cruise, he can run.
That man can run, and luckily, most of that running was done off screen. But he gets. This is where he gets to the elevator, and Colin Farrell gets in with him, and Tom Cruise is looking very shaken. Mm-hmm. Like his demeanor is totally different from everything else in the movie, and Colin Farrell doesn't pick up on that immediately because like he's holding his arms crossed, but he's not like standoffish. He's more like holding himself almost.
Yeah, he's
I
like,
need a hug. but
Yeah,
I
he
know
was kind
what's
of
up.
pale.
how have I murdered somebody?
Yeah, and Tom Cruise or Danny is like, I got you. This is like 15 years, and you're definitely going to lose that badge.
Because you can see in Tom Cruise's eyes when he says, I knew it. I got you right now. He's like, how did you already find out? He's like, do you see this weed?
Yeah.
I know you've been.
You're on future weed, John.
He's like, you see this little vape? I got your ass.
Like, Colin Farrell's on a whole different moment. And
Yeah. He doesn't even know about the ball yet.
Yeah.
Tom
And-
Cruise just whips a pistol to his throat, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
No,
There ain't.
No. This is one of my legit favorite parts of the movie because this is a moment where it's like Colin Farrell knows the system works, so he's not worried when John puts the gun to his throat.
Right.
He goes, come on, John, put the gun away. I didn't hear a red ball. And then the alarm goes off. But when that alarm goes off, Colin Farrell, Danny, immediately, his demeanor changes to
And-
something of fear. It was. I actually really like this moment.
That was a great.
That quick shift of being cocky to, oh no, I'm scared.
You have two great actors in an elevator together. What could happen? I'll tell you, magic.
Not that fight from Captain America 2, though.
I love that scene. That's my favorite fight scene.
Speaking of which, Frank Grillo, the guy who played Crossbones in the MCU, has a 1-second appearance in this movie.
Wow.
He's one of the pre-cops. And now we go on the longest chase sequence of the movie. And it starts...
Oh, it's the worst.
Oh my god. This could have been 2 minutes.
Yeah, this
and
takes
it looks real bad.
Yeah, because it's all CGI. So Tom Cruise gets in his little future car, which looks like a pill, but it's also attached to a track.
Okay, the track, if they had painted this thing orange, it just would have been a Hot Wheels track.
It really does look like a Hot Wheels track.
It's 100%.
Because some of the road is at 90-degree vertical angles.
Exactly.
When he's jumping on the cars.
When he kicks the door, first of all, you're not kicking a whole window and everything out of a car that easily, and especially not in the future.
Right.
When they're built to go at 90 and all these degrees.
But you know what's really, really interesting here is before the chase really begins, he first escapes. He gets in the car, and he calls Lamar. Mm-hmm. And he tells Lamar, I just got tagged for killing someone named Leo Crow. And Lamar's like, who? He goes, I don't know, I've never heard of him before. Mm-hmm. And Lamar keeps asking, who's Leo Crow? He's like, I don't know who Leo Crow is.
But he's also like insistent that it was Whitwer who did, like set him up.
Yes, he goes, Whitwer set me up because Whitwer approached him in the elevator and everything. And Lamar's like, come to my house. And he goes, no, they're going to find me there. He's like, I can't run, or I got to run. Everyone always runs.
Yeah, he kept, I swear he kept saying, everybody runs.
Yeah.
That's because somebody loves to fucking run, man.
Everybody runs. I'm like, yeah, we get it. Everybody who feels like they have not done an illegal crime, Tom Cruise, what are you feeling right now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody's going to run. Guess why? Because they haven't done anything.
He's like, yeah, you mean the crime they didn't commit?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
When he's on the phone with Lamar, that's when his car gets hacked, and they're redirecting him back to the precinct. Mm-hmm. And this is where he jumps out. He busts out the window, which comes out like it's barely attached.
Yeah, he just taps it, and then it goes flying.
It's held in by Scotch tape.
You're popping out the lens of your sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it
just flies out.
Because it doesn't break. It just literally pops right out.
Which also, I'm terrified of a car crash with that. Just thump.
Right? You accidentally hit the car window too hard.
Cars don't crash in their timeline.
You're right.
No, they only crash here near my house.
Oh.
I'm so glad you're okay.
Me too.
And this is where this is the I swear I've played this level in a video game before because he's going down that 90-degree vertical wall,
jumping from car to car,
just roof to roof, and he jumps on this one car, and the people look at him. He kind of gives them a little wave, like, hey, I'm on top of your car. I know this is dangerous.
I like that one lady though in the car before where she's just like yelling at somebody, doesn't even notice the man on top of her.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even see it.
But he jumps off and he lands in a like a yoga studio. Yeah. And he lands in almost like a yoga pose, which was kind of funny.
They're all in the weirdest, like...
They're like contortionists.
Yeah.
And they're all just butt and whatever in his face, and they're between their own legs, and they're walking to him they're aliens.
They're bent in half, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, like, the woman has, like, her arms, like, through her legs. Yeah. She's, like...
They were all too calm.
It was weird.
I would have immediately stood upright, for one thing.
They were locked. They were
stuck. They were trying to get each other unstuck.
They were probably like this. Thank God somebody could help us.
Oh, sir, can you help us? We've been like this for days.
No, I'm running from the cops. No.
That or they were all on future weed.
Oh, that was it.
It's the only way I can bend that way.
Can I borrow one of these inhalators? And now we are running through the streets. Mm-hmm. And now we have the cops with the jetpacks.
Yes.
Or landing in like the little kid elves. And,
yes. I like it though when Fletch lands. You know, he and Tom Cruise have that camaraderie. And he's like, that was a bit of a rough landing. He goes, yeah, it's his bum knee.
And he's like, don't do it. And he's like this. Everybody runs.
Everybody runs.
Everybody runs.
Yeah. And he's like, come on, John.
I hated the chase scene before this, but this one I actually don't mind because like you can see how much they care about each other. Yeah, I hated the cars, but I liked the
Oh yeah.
the cops with John.
Well,
Because they're like not trying to hurt him, and he's not trying to hurt them.
What killed
Yeah.
killed me was how much damage they did with this chase.
Oh.
They're
Yes.
flying with jetpacks in people's apartments.
They're wrecking that
stepping on them, and I'm like this. Excuse me. And then they're flying up the debris track for construction work with a jetpack, catching it completely on fire the whole time, which I appreciated they did in the movie because most people would just let them fly on up. They caught the whole thing on fire
Yep.
and made it be like, those are real flames coming out of that jetpack.
I will say this scene in the alley with the jetpacks I liked way more because it was done practically. These people are on wires. The jetpacks are physically on the actor's back.
Yes.
Whereas the chase scene before on the cars looks like a whole lot of bad CGI. So we could have done without any of that. He could have broken out of that car way faster and not done, or
Right.
hacked the car or something.
They had to save money, so they
But-
only did it for the cars.
Dude, and I'm glad they did because it looks terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they what I liked a lot was he gets the jetpack off one guy on the fire escape.
Yeah.
I think
And-
it's...
I don't remember the names. A
The-
lot of them
the
are
one
just
that-
pre-crime cop.
the one that hated him so bad.
No. He's in the apartment, and he's the one that they go through the floor. This guy on the
right.
fire escape,
Yeah.
he gets the jetpack off of him, and like he's over the railing, and Tom Cruise is on the actual platform.
Leaning, yeah.
And he's holding his hands. He goes, "Are you got it?
He's like, you holding on? You got
Hold
it?
on."
He's
He doesn't want to kill this man.
Right.
He's like, I'm going to let go, okay? He's like, okay, I got it.
Yeah. And
What if
then
he just, like, let go?
And then that's when Knot comes after him. But also they have these things called six sticks,
Yeah.
which were really interesting.
I loved it the moment he caught that guy on the throat.
Oh man!
Yes.
And it's like because they have him cornered, and something fell over and distracted someone for a second, and it allowed Tom Cruise to hit. I think he hits Knot in the
Yes.
throat, and he taps him. It's almost like a baton with an electrical component on the end of it, but it just makes you vomit. And this guy just starts projectile vomiting.
It's in
all over the alley.
It's in the movie Mean Girls. Lindsay Lohan has one, and she like gets all of the friends with it, and they immediately start like throwing up and having diarrhea. I think.
Wait, you're thinking of Kick-Ass?
Yes, Kick Ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
'cause-
thinking of Kick-Ass.
I was like,
when
I
the
Bad
thought
Girl
that
or
was in
whatever?
Mean
Yeah.
Girls.
Or whatever her name is, whatever girl.
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl has one,
and she
all
hits all the... Yep.
because they're like the Mean Girls.
Oh, this is the second movie.
Yeah. When she's
Oh,
in
okay.
school,
When she's older.
School.
she just catches them, and they all immediately start vomiting.
Oh, okay.
Right when I saw him, he caught the who hates him for the rest of the movie and wants
Not,
to kill
yeah.
him, right to the throat from the blonde guy,
Yep.
and it's just. It's like
Blech.
Exorcist vomit.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is.
I don't know why he was so mad. He was going to do the same thing to him.
Right.
Exactly. Don't get mad when you're gonna beat somebody and
Yeah,
they beat
Just
you.
because your boss kicked your ass after hours.
Showed you how much of a bitch you are.
So they're fighting through the apartment building, and he manages to get away, and then Danny rolls up with his guys in the ugliest car.
Let's talk about this apartment building real fast because everyone looks like they're from like the 1920s.
Yeah, this
Like,
apartment building looks
it's-
so old.
It's the
Yes.
weirdest tenement building. Like, it is insane. Like,
They scooped this up from another movie.
yeah.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like, Steven, were you done with that Schindler List set? We're going to use that for your next film.
Isn't that in 2054? Same thing.
Don't worry about it, Steven.
They cornered him in the fucking slums.
Yeah.
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 And now there's a chase through an automated car manufacturing facility.
This is where
The
him and
Lexus.
Colin
The
Farrell,
Lexus facility.
Colin
Farrell and his goons in the big suits are chasing him, and they have these rotating
What is it called?
percussion guns. They don't fire bullets; they hit you with like a wave just to incapacitate you.
It's like I can't speak.
You'll get there, buddy. I believe in you.
How do you
Like a little Lego piece where you can just kind of twirl around.
Yeah. Honestly, the way he reloads it, he just spins it, and it just reminds me of when the Terminator's reloading that shotgun in Terminator 2.
It's like those flashlights you get. You have to crank it to charge up
Yes,
the battery.
yeah.
You just whip it a couple times, and it looks like he whipped it twice one time, and it gave it a little extra. Boom.
Yeah, because the actual it's like two pieces: the handle, and then the actual barrel part is another piece that's kind of it's not centered, but it's on a rotating little arm, and
Like
you
a
rotate
ratchet.
the barrel part to fire it. It's goofy as fuck.
But I want one.
I kind of do too.
I will push anything away from you. Just
Get
wah,
those,
wah, wah,
get those
boom.
stray raccoons out of our backyard when they show up.
God damn.
Get out of here, Jerry.
You just see, whoom. That's just God.
Your neighbors are going to be like, what the hell?
And they keep launching their raccoons into our yard.
They're 5 football fields away.
Yeah. So he fights Colin Farrell on the conveyor. They're kicking each other's asses. Tom Cruise ends up inside this red Lexus.
Yeah, it gets built around him
Yes.
completely.
And it's really funny because like Colin Farrell and his guys are on the outside watching it go down the conveyor, and then Tom Cruise just pops up like a Jack in the Box in the driver's seat, and it just immediately lets him drive away.
It would
I
have been
was-
really funny if he just like kind of slowly flicked him off. He was just like riding by.
I thought they were just waiting because he thought he got squished.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
he sees him, did you see the old high school, middle school bully, I'm going to beat you up from Colin Farrell? He went like this.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I
ran,
missed that.
Yeah.
ran out the window because they
Oh.
did it fast.
Because they had gotten
all-
into that fucking, when they were fighting, I guess he was kind of beating his ass. So he
Oh,
was
they.
just like,
oh man.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell got his ass
It
handed
was
to him.
it was the fastest because it was like maybe he was supposed to do it a little earlier
Uh-huh.
and he caught it too late and they had already started to go to the next scene and he went.
Oh no, I missed
It
it.
was hilarious. I died laughing. I was like, man, that's middle school right
yeah.
there.
That was just like, really?
Yeah,
Like when he did that, she's just like, really? Was that necessary?
exactly. It was just so out of place.
I'm gonna kick your ass, man.
I'm gonna get you, John.
You fucking gave me a wedgie.
You messed up my big suit.
Oh, man.
So he drives away in that red Lexus, and then he goes to
His wife.
That is the only
No.
car I do like, though.
the red Lexus.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a car you would get on GTA Online, whereas all the other cars they look like weird pills.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
those, the city paid for those cars. Future car.
The future car,
Everything.
the GTA Online car.
Yeah, a car that's supposed to still be in our lifetime.
Yeah,
2054, baby's coming.
yeah,
I can't wait. 30 years.
that's it. So now he goes to Dr. Hyman. Because remember, he gets the red car and he immediately drives to her house.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought
that's
it was going to be
right.
the White's house.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
But
right.
She lives like out in the middle of fucking nowhere. I forget.
She lives on the beach.
No, not the wife.
Oh,
Dr.
okay,
Hyman. She
yeah.
lives out in the middle of nowhere. But I'm forgetting how he thinks to go to her place.
Well, I
They
think
never say it.
he always knew because she created the whole program.
But either way, he goes to Dr. Hyman, who is played by a woman that I don't recognize from anything. And she is a wacky character.
Oh, she sure is.
She's very creative.
But
I need
when
to
he
find a
hops over
character.
her, she's got a brick wall around her house. She looks like she lives in a witch cottage because it's out in the middle of the woods. It's kind
Harry.
of foggy out.
Harry Potter plants.
Yeah, because he hops the fence, not the fence, but the wall, and it's got like the glass along the edges. And I know that sometimes they use that to keep birds from landing on top of it. But she's got these plants that are like alive.
It's a greenhouse kind of style.
Because when Tom Cruise hops over the wall, some of the plants grab him like these long tentacles, and one like
Cuts his neck up.
yeah, and he gets injected with some poison. And he walks into Dr. Hyman's greenhouse, and at this point he's like,
Walks is the operative word. 'Cause it's more like he stumbles.
oh yeah, he's
he
stumbling.
cannot breathe.
And she says something about
I see you trespass by jumping over my fence.
yeah, I don't
And the
accept visitors.
vines.
That's what the wall is for. And she mentions that the plants got him, and it's like, oh yeah, you're about to start seeing the most
Vivid.
vibrant blues you've ever seen. And she sits him down, and she immediately knows who he is, Chief Anderton. Also, I'm saying her name wrong. It's Heineman, Iris Heineman,
Hindman.
played by Lois Smith. And she makes him this little tea real quick, and she goes, "You need to drink this because if you don't drink it soon, your throat's going to close up. Then you're really going to be buggered. Drink all of it." He
Which-
drinks it. He immediately gets better.
In 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Well, she knows she made the plants, so presumably she knows exactly what.
She might be the world's greatest geneticist.
100%.
Pretty good.
It's
Because
good
she's
tea.
got those things alive.
But this is where we get the exposition dump on what a minority report is. It's the
Weird.
one report that stands out from the other two.
Yeah, because she said every so often there will be a time where one doesn't see what the other two saw at all.
Which immediately proves that the system does not work. Because people have free will. Just because you see something that might happen doesn't mean it's going to happen.
And then he like realizes immediately, he's like, I have locked up innocent people.
Yes, you're telling me I locked innocent people away?
And she's like, no, not really. I mean, she's still kind of like saying
for it.
Yeah, she's still like, well, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Those people are going to do whatever it was that was being shown. However, if you ran up on them before they did it and were just like, hey, we know you're about to do whatever it is you're about to fucking do.
Which instead of making society better, they're just being in control of society.
Hey, man, 0% murder rate, dog.
Yeah, but which it feels like they completely did away with like regular cops because the rest of the town is like filthy and dirty and there's trash everywhere.
It's terrible.
Yeah, there's no other law enforcement except for the pre-crime cops. That's it.
Yeah.
We don't see any regular cops, no street cops or anything like that. That's not true. I just lied. We did at the very beginning. When they're looking at that Henry, the guy that's about to kill his wife and her lover, there are 2 cops on horseback that walk past his apartment or his house. So those are the only cops we see outside pre-crime.
Oh, beat cops.
I missed them completely.
Yeah, they're on horseback. But she tells him the Minority Report, Agatha is the strongest. It's survival of the fittest. She grabs one of her plants and she's holding it. She goes, they're not everything's going to hurt you, but if you back it into a corner and she's squeezing this thing and it cuts her palm open.
The worst, feeling, just watching her try and, squeeze this CGI plant, because it's like, I don't know what you're trying to squeeze, but it is not looking like you're squeezing a vine.
The CGI is so bad in this movie.
And then it just cuts her somehow because all she did was let go and it didn't... Yeah.
Yeah, I think she let go because it
right, but it's just like, instead of doing a motion, she's just like, see, it cuts you.
She basically also says that sometimes a precog will have what they call an echo, which we saw a little bit of earlier in the movie, of the thing we just saw, that technicians are trained to just delete it, just get rid of it. But that might not be an echo, it might just be the Minority Report itself that gets deleted, since they only go with the 2 that are most similar. But she tells him that there is a place where the Minority Reports are stored, and this is where we have the most awkward, unnecessary kiss in this movie.
It was real weird.
She kisses Tom Cruise for no reason. There's no benefit. Like, she's applying more medicine for his venom. She just gives him a little smooch on the mouth.
She's like, I'm here, you're here,
what's going to happen?
And there's a
older lady?
30 to 40 year age gap.
Yeah, but it's just this is so weird. And she tells him that the Minority Report is stored, drumroll, on the precog that had the vision.
And what cracks me up is he's like, how am I going to download it? I'm like, bro, she's meaning her brain.
It's like he again is seeing them as a tool.
And that's my thing. I'm like, you can't delete the original because it's their thought.
Right, you just have to access it.
Exactly.
But he's like, oh, I'll get scanned 30 times before I get anywhere near that building. I'll never get in. And what am I supposed to do? Just carry her out or walk out with her?
And this is when she talks to him. She's like, you've been a cop and you've done this for how long? Pretty much, I'm sure you can find some people that you've helped along the way to help you get there.
Yeah.
Pretty much talking about all the people that have done great things to break the law. He's got to use them to get into it.
She doesn't mention his son, does she? Because I know almost every character we meet with him, it mentions his kid.
She doesn't.
Okay. But yeah, she also isn't quick to call the cops that he's there. But he keeps telling her, he's like, I'm not a murderer. And
because at this point, I think as soon as he found out about the Minority Report, he was like, I must have a Minority Report.
Yes. His whole goal is to get the Minority Report to show he is not going to kill Leo Crow. He's got to prove his innocence. Mainly because he doesn't even know who Leo Crow is, he says. And I believe this is where we go to the disgusting slum apartment building where we meet Peter Stormare.
Oh, yeah, because he goes to... Because now it flips back to not Russell Crowe. Colin Farrell sitting in his desk. The one cop, she's like, what are you doing? That's Anderson's desk.
The Chief's area.
He's like...
He's not coming back.
Yeah, she's like, I don't give a fuck. Pretty much, she's like, you can get out of my man's desk. And so he's telling them...
Because we jump back and forth between Tom Cruise and Colin Farrell quite a bit.
Because, this is where he's like, so how can you get information out of somebody? You're going to need a lot of technical power. And they're like, not a normal run-of-the-mill person can just have that. He's like, wait a second. Did you say Anderson made this? Which I didn't know what he was looking at, and it was his keyboard. So he opens up the worst way possible. Like,
No, this is later.
No, this is like right there.
No, because he doesn't open up his holo card contraption until he's already got Agatha. Because this is where they go to Rufus's place. I think his name was Rufus. The guy that has that club that scans your brains.
I can't wait till we get to talk about the club, because that club reminded me of something specific.
Oh, yeah.
But
Because
that's when he opens up the desk and he takes apart Tom Cruise's little setup there.
Oh my gosh!
You're way ahead.
That's next after where we're at right now.
So right now,
he's going to get his eyes changed.
Tom Cruise is about to get brand new eyeballs.
There we
go.
This
was really fucking gross.
Disgusting place in the world.
Oh,
it's just so nasty. And then the first time you see Peter Stormare, he's like sneezing with these big boogers hanging out of his nose. And he's just wiping on his hand. And he's like, "Don't worry, I could cut your chest open, sew a cat inside. You won't get any kind of infection with the amount of antibiotics I'm going to be shooting into you."
It's like a hotel. It's like an apartment from Judge Dredd.
It's so gross. It's disgusting. And we find out that Stormare is a guy that Tom Cruise had put away years before. He was a plastic surgeon.
And he would burn his victims.
He would light his victims on fire. And he goes, "I put them out. Some, it took longer than others, but I put them out." And he's being real creepy.
While he's going under anesthesia already.
Yeah, because he sneaks up and gives John a secret shot of anesthetic.
To the neck.
No, it's his arm. It's his arm.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And John's about to break his fucking arm. But he pops these new eyes in him with this big head contraption. And
after his assistant pops out with the world's largest mole.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Lady
God.
had a giant mole on her face.
Like what's his name from Austin Powers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mole.
Guacamole.
Oh.
Fred Savage, by the way. And he tells him, like, "Look, you got to keep these bandages on for 12 hours. Otherwise, you'll go blind. So here's a timer. I got one rope here tied to your left hand that goes to the
kitchen.
Your right hand goes to the bathroom. Here's some drugs. Here's some future weed in your little inhaler. That's just a little something special from me to you. And here's an extra little treat I'm going to put in your goodie bag. It's an injection that's going to basically turn your face into mush for 30 minutes. And then it's going to go back to normal. And it's going to be one of the most unpleasant experiences you've ever had in your life. But that's just for you on the house. And here's a sandwich in the fridge and some milk. Goodbye." And he takes his little future weed and he passes out for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
He wakes up and this is the absolute grossest thing. He goes to the fridge. He opens it. There's the sandwich. There's the milk. But there's also what looks like a year-old sandwich and a year-old glass bottle of milk that is now green. Everything's green except for the new stuff. And he reaches in and he reaches right over the good sandwich and he grabs the old one. He takes a big bite out of it.
Oh, man, I gagged.
Dude, I almost felt sick.
I gagged.
It was so gross. And he spits that out and he goes to grab the milk and he knocks over the good milk and he grabs the green milk and he drinks that and you can see the chunks in it.
Oh.
And then he goes over to the ice cooler where his new eyes were and he starts drinking that water.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking gross. But the cops had an idea about the possible location of this murder because they're still watching the footage and they still haven't figured out that the third man in the room is just a flat billboard picture.
Is this where they also find out there's a fourth person in
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. And they're like, all right, we'll just go to certain buildings and we'll just do sweeps.
With the wildest robots.
Those little spider robots
That had
their own personality and brains. They have their own ideas.
No, you're good.
They were like the droids from our Clone Wars. Sassy, having ideas, having thoughts, just doing stuff.
The only thing they were missing was being able to talk.
Yeah.
They're just walking around, scanning people's eyes while they're doing their normal business. You got a couple that's having a great time in the bedroom,
And then
gets
another one is
interrupted.
having another great time. Where
Yeah,
they're 2
nothing
seconds
will
from
make you
killing each
softer
other.
than having to get your retinal scanned by a little robot. Like these people are
Exactly.
mid fuck, and the robot comes in, and it's
Exactly.
like, but it's really quick for all of them. That's the one thing I noticed right off the jump.
It can be quick, but I'll tell you right now, you break that stride, it's a hard stride to get back going.
Well, no, but when it scans, when it scans John's eye later on, it takes fucking forever.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering if it's because it's trying, like you can see his eye almost going blind.
I mean,
Because it's
also
only
you can
been-
see that those eyes are fresh.
Yeah, and it's only been 6 hours, so he's trying to resist them scanning, and then it's scanning, and it's getting cloudy, not cloudy, cloudy, not cloudy, and then, oh, it's not him.
Yeah.
But this is what I meant by those robots being so weird. Everything's fine and dandy until one air bubble comes out of the water and makes a pop sound. This robot thinks it's a human and goes straight to him.
Because the cops had scanned the building, so they have all the heat signatures. And Tom Cruise fills up the bathtub and he puts all the ice in it
To lower the temperature.
Yeah, so he hides in the tub, and the cops are like, "Oh, we lost one." Like maybe it was just a cat near an open window, and it hopped out of the building.
He's like, that's a big cat.
Yeah, it's a big cat. But also, what got me was when they're trying to get into the unit that he is in, he stuffed a bunch of towels under the door, and they can't get past that. But one of them has the idea of, "Oh, I found a loose floorboard with these lights running under the floors. Come on, guys!" And it literally, you can see it. Like, look at it, think,
And it
picks it up.
waves them
Yeah,
on.
and then it almost gestures the other ones like, we're going this way. And that's how they get into the apartment. And like Corey just said, that little bubble comes up, just that one bubble. And it's not until the bubble pops that, sorry, our dogs are playing in the background, that the robots start zapping the tub water. When he pops up, they pull the bandage up. He doesn't fight too much.
But like it's weird because I know that they can scan through your eyelids because you see that scene when he's getting on the subway. The one of the lady has her eyes closed and it scans her eyes through the thing.
Oh,
I missed that.
Yeah.
It was an accident, I bet.
Yeah, because
It had to
everything
be.
I noticed that the people were like, everyone was just like instinctively looking right at the scanner.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's how
two
I
of
noticed it
their-
because everyone was looking except for her because her eyes were closed. She was closed and then like she looked after she already left.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I also missed that.
the robots were like trying to like if they refused, you could see like two of their things. They trying to force it.
Yeah.
It was like
They pull the bandage up over his eye. And I will give him this though, for the rest of this movie, Tom Cruise's eyes are like black and blue.
oh yeah, they did good
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, they were like, that's kind of, the man just had his eyes pulled out of his fucking face.
Yeah, with no damage.
Yeah.
He's a good doctor.
That guy's a really good doctor. He's a maniac, but he's a good
It
doctor.
makes me wonder, like his burn victims were probably okay.
Yeah, he probably fixed them up where you couldn't even tell, but the guy should definitely have been locked up.
Gave him a nasty sandwich.
Yeah. So he's got his new eyes, and now he goes back to pre-crime,
Yeah.
and he injects himself in the chin with that needle he gave him.
Right outside that
They're
little.
right in front of a group of kids on a
Yeah.
field trip. So stupid. He just kneels down behind what looks like the little fountain display, and his face like almost like it melts a little bit.
It looks
And
like he
it's
has a stroke.
Yeah, kind
And
of.
it's just like deformed.
He
on one
looks
side.
bad, and he
So-
manages to sneak in, and for some weird reason, they never deactivated his access to the building.
Yeah.
But like I feel like the moment his access was like thing, it should have.
it would.
Yeah.
In real life.
I mean, you would imagine they would have removed his access, but they're probably so cocky with like, oh, he'll never get close enough to the building. We'll scan him before he gets there.
Yeah.
Also, earlier on the subway when he's running, apparently Cameron Diaz has a cameo on that subway somewhere,
Oh.
which I
Really?
totally missed. I read that online.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I
That'll
missed
be
it.
hilarious to see.
She's just in the background.
Just a young
Tom,
Cameron Diaz.
remember Vanilla Sky?
Tom,
Cameron, shut up.
they always run. They always run, Tom.
So he manages to get in. His eyes still work.
He kept his old eyeballs.
Yeah, because he even tells the doctor, "I want to keep my old eyes." And the doctor's like, "Why?" He goes, "Because my mother gave them to me."
And I never thought of using them to get into the building.
Yeah,
Never
they're
thought
all
of it.
baggy, and he's shaking this bag violently to get these eyeballs out.
Mm-hmm.
Drops both of them. They're rolling down a hill.
Exactly.
This man's literally chasing his own eyes.
He says, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
and he's like, he's like looking like a crab trying to like
Yeah.
go down. And
One of them,
grab
they both go down the damn grate, the sewer grate, but he catches one, and he manages to get into where Agatha is. He walks past Wally, and Wally doesn't recognize him at first. And Wally's like, "You can't be in here, sir."
And so
he locks the door.
And he goes up, trips the emergency lock, and then goes down and is trying to get Agatha.
Yep. And this is the moment where Danny is watching the footage, and they realize there's a fourth person in the room. And they realize it's Agatha. Yeah, 4.
It was Agatha all along.
Okay. Erica kept saying that this whole movie.
Because they were like
Agatha all along.
They were like it was Agatha, and I was like, it was Agatha all along.
Yeah, they can see very faintly that there's a fourth person. Like, who is that? Looks like a female. And they get it just right, and Danny's like, it's Agatha. He's coming here to get her. And they run down to the temple.
Before we go any further, I wanted to point out that the scene when the guy was talking about the one-eyed man could have been a reference to the fact that he fucking lost one of his goddamn eyes and now he only has one.
I mean,
or it could have been because Etta was actually asking. It could have been a reference to the fact that he had to let the thing scan one of his eyes, and that he may have gone blind in that eye and not the other one.
But they never touch on that.
But they never touch on it
because when he was getting scanned by the robots, that could be.
Yeah, he might have went blind in that eye, and he let the robot scan it.
Yeah,
but he still has the other eye.
Because my thing is, it's been 6 hours. There's no surgery where you can go half the recovery time, and I'm just going to say it this way.
Etta was like, "Is he blind in that eye now? Is that what the reference was to?" And they never touch on it. They could have, maybe they had intended to, it just didn't.
They ran out of time because of this.
Yeah,
the movie's already too long.
Yeah. They ran out of time.
There was already enough shit happening in this fucking movie.
Well, after he gets his eye scanned, which takes a couple seconds, and it clearly takes longer than every other person for dramatic effect, but he might have just pulled that bandage back down and left it on his eye. And then, because it was only uncovered for a little bit, that last 6 hours, he probably left it. Because we just skipped past that 6 hours.
Yeah, I mean, true. That being said, it was exposed to light, though. So
it was.
He may have gone blind in that eye, letting that robot scan it.
They never tell us that.
They don't
Peter
touch on it.
Starman really did emphasize, if you take it off early.
Yeah, because he's like, no scratching.
Yeah.
Well, he should be blind then, but he's acting like the rest of the movie. He's fine because he takes the bandages off soon after that. He is obtaining Agatha.
Yeah. Okay. So Danny and the pre-cops realize it's Agatha on the video, and they rush into the temple, which John had already locked the door. John's down there. He also tells Wally, I like you. Don't make me hit you.
Yep.
When he first gets in.
That's how he finds out it's
yeah. He's like, John. Chief. So he has no way to get out. They have no way to get in at the moment. So what John decides to do is flush him and Agatha down
the toilet.
The milk drain.
The milk drain. The toilet.
It looks like the Neo when he's coming out of the goo. They get sucked down.
Oh, when he wakes up in his pod, and they dump him. Yeah, less gooiness, more just wet.
It's just like a water slide.
I feel like The Matrix might be a stay tuned.
Oh yeah, definitely. You've never seen it before.
Never seen it.
Oh, I will in a heartbeat. Yeah. It looks like the nut thing from the second Willy Wonka, where the squirrels keep dropping the nuts.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's exactly what it looks like.
It took me a second, but I got there with you.
You
gotta hold my hand on that one.
All the bad nuts go down.
Yep. Because in the second one, it's squirrels. In the original, it's geese. Yeah, that's why I was confused. I got you.
I was like, yep, there we go.
Yeah, the nut thing. Nut trauma. We are now out on the run with Agatha. He's got her in the red Lexus, and he keeps asking her, can you hear me? Do you understand me?
And she's just curled up on the door, looking out at the world.
Oh, also, by the way, Agatha is played by Samantha. Oh, I lost her.
I'll say what at the end of the movie. What up, Agatha? Once she grew her hair out, I was like, yo, what up, girl?
Oh, man, where is she? Samantha Morton, who I recognized immediately from seasons 9 and 10 of The Walking Dead. She plays Alpha, the leader of the Whisperers. She's pretty scary on that show. She's very menacing. Loves playing a bald character, apparently.
Maybe she's just tired of hair.
She probably hated that Chucky length hair that she had at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It did look like just like it's stopped.
Like a bob.
Yeah.
And she asks, "Is this now?"
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this is really happening. This isn't one of your visions. This is really happening.
She was like, I'm just so tired of the future.
Yeah,
Yes.
she says, "I'm tired of the future."
Because that's their life.
Yes.
She doesn't know what present day is.
Nope.
Well, because also they have her, or they had her like stuck in like, they're like, we can never have them fully awake, but they can never be fully asleep either. So she's probably been in like a weird semi-consciousness for like
6 years.
Yeah, like driven crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's probably ready for a real nap, and we don't see her get one in this movie.
Oh God!
He goes and buys her some clothes at the Gap, and this is where we get the scan. And we find out his new eyes belong to Mr.
Mr. Yamamoto.
Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he's like, Yamamoto.
He's like, "Is this?"
Yeah, he does this funny gag where he goes and grabs some woman's clothing, and there's a lady standing there, and he kind of like holds them up to her back, not touching her.
Right
she never
behind her.
notices, and he's like trying to be like, "Would this fit Agatha? Sure, why not?"
But I really like that when you walk in, they're like, "Hello, Mr. Yamamoto. How were those new like fitted tank
Vest
tops
or some shit
Yeah.
like something.
And
I don't
like,
need the store knowing what I'm buying or my name.
right? Because like if I walk into a sex shop and they're like, "How was that 15-inch dick?" Like,
100%. How is that double?
They might turn it off for the sex shop.
God, I hope so.
I hope not.
Just
I want to hear that.
How was that? How are those movies you just watched?
How was that peppermint lube treating you?
I'll
Minty.
tell you right now,
Peppermint.
breath freshening.
Could have done without the menthol, but that's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna be honest, doesn't last that long. Should have gone for the extra strength.
You finished those movies already. Wow.
It's been 2 days.
Back so soon.
Oh, it's great seeing you.
How was that industrial gallon or industrial bucket of lube?
Listen, honey, I'll show you. I've never been in the store. Oh, welcome back, Mr. Etheredge. Fuck.
Well, it wouldn't be like bad.
He's a regular.
It wouldn't be bad if they just like if it was like in your ear or in your head.
That
Like,
would be way different. Like they have like their phones in this world are like little Bluetooth pieces that only go in your ear.
Yeah.
There's no part that is down around your face.
Right.
So if it was like playing in that
that would have been fine.
Totally
but
fine.
like if
That
they're
would be
announcing
pretty
it
cool.
to the store. I'm
Well,
like,
they
alright.
did that earlier when he was on the run. The whole hallway, the first, like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh,
that you
Mr.
try-
Anderton, Mr. Anderton.
Every ad was like, "You need this car. Oh,
Yep.
you need this. You need this." It's like this. I get it. I'm in the hallway.
Do you want to
Stop.
shop at The Gap? Hi there, Mr. Anderton. Would you like to buy a brand new Lexus?
It's
That'd be
weird.
so goddamn aggravating.
Wouldn't it?
Yes.
Couldn't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking
literal
ass.
targeted ads.
I'd have to get the darkest sunglasses they make.
Thing is the computer system will crash all the time trying to fit everybody's name at one time.
Yes.
I don't know. They might be like the Delta airline computers. These computers might be running off Windows 3.
No, it wasn't Delta. It was Southwest.
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 Yes.
And my thing is like, hey, congratulations. The one coincidence out of I don't know how many years you survived because you're so lazy and cheap to get new technology. Don't be proud of it. don't flex on other air companies and be like this. Oh, looks like we can take people. That's they're the last option.
It's like can't protect anything that wasn't protected.
It's like
you
when
know?
bicycle covers like this. Yeah, we knew we'd come back strong. Yeah, because there's no gas anymore.
So this is where he takes Agatha to the club.
Yes, this is where. So this is the scene right after. So when they came down to get him, that was when they discovered when Colin Farrell. I've never seen somebody try and open up anything in my life as difficultly as he tried to figure out that reader at Anderson's desk. Because he was like this. You said he made this himself, and they're like, yeah. And he's like, ugh. How do I open this?
No, he had it custom made. Because he opens it and he finds the guy who made it, and that's what leads them.
That's what
to the club.
And
he had it custom made.
And the guy is kind of like from Cyberpunk, where you have the brain dances. You can go in and just live whatever life you want for that split time that you've paid for.
It reminded me of there's this comic called Saga when they go to that planet where everyone that sex planet where everyone's just getting their wildest dreams, and I was like, this is what that's
Let
from.
me visit that.
That one guy was funny. He's like, "What you here for? What kind of kink you like?" And the guy's like, "I'm gonna kill my boss."
And then he's so into it because he's like this. Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
you want to do it.
You got some pictures to reference?
Because if you think about it, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, I got you. Then the cop then the Anderson shows up with Agatha, and he's like, you want to do what? You sick fuck.
Yeah.
Get out of my store.
You're disgusting.
And he's like, hey, what can I help you with? I'm like,
Yeah, because Anderton's like, look, you've been busted twice already for illegal hacking.
tell me he doesn't remind you of Rafi from The League.
I've never seen The League. My thought was he reminded me of the guy who plays Ted on How I Met Your Mother. A little crazier looking.
Ted Mosby?
Yeah.
From How
Imagine that guy grew his hair out.
The technology guy?
Yeah.
Ted's the biggest
Yes, Ted is
pussy
a
in the
piece
world.
of shit. Yeah.
It's not the character, it's the way the guy looked. The guy
That's why I was
looked
saying-
like Ted.
That's why I was saying Rafi.
Oh, see, I've never seen The League.
Oh, here you go.
But this guy's
Oh,
name
you
was
talking.
Rufus.
Yeah.
He hooks in to Agatha, and he doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to control this. And she's having the vision again, but it's playing out the exact same way. And Tom Cruise is like, no, this can't be all of it. He goes, where's my Minority Report? And she says, there isn't one. But she starts playing the vision of Anne Lively again.
Wait, can we circle back to some of these fantasies these people are having? Like that one guy who's just standing there getting applauded and be like, good job!
Like he won an Oscar or some shit?
Yeah, and he's like, good job, congratulations! And I was like, wow, that's so sad.
That's so sad. He really needed that.
Yeah.
He really needed it.
Yeah. That guy really just needs a hug.
Yeah, something.
Something.
A lot of them, they were very quick, vague shots of these people in these little cyber chambers.
That
like,
one guy that's getting fucked left or right by that big girl,
Yeah.
and then surrounded by all those people.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. That guy.
That doesn't look like him at all.
No. Not
He
to me.
looks fucking crazy in that shot.
That's a
That's
bad
what it looks
photo.
like.
I do see Ted Mosby in the eyes.
Yeah.
I see that now.
We're accessing Agatha's brains again, and
Yes.
There we
Agatha
go.
is again seeing Anne Lively being drowned.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise is like, you want me to see this? You want me to...
But it's going in reverse this time.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's in reverse. But he also is like, this is important now.
Mm-hmm. He's now realizing something's up with this.
Oh, also, he definitely realized something about this because something we totally forgot to talk about. When he first went down to the archive to get this original precog memory, that Agatha's version of it was gone.
Yeah.
It had been deleted.
That's right.
So we had Arthur and Dashiell's memories. Agatha's was gone.
Because-
Totally forgot to mention that.
Because this crime was what started pre-crime.
It was early on in pre-crime.
No, they said this was.
I think it was right before,
This
wasn't
was
it?
the crime that started it because it involved Anne Lively.
No, because I thought...
No, this is
It was before.
It was one of the earlier crimes because Anne Lively.
It didn't start it because...
Anne Lively was her mother, so she wanted to get her kid back, and they couldn't let the system stop because they were using her kid.
All right, well, we might as well talk about it now.
That's why. Yeah, I was.
No, I mean, I'm
That's fine with
totally fine. No need to apologize.
Well, I thought we said that we learned Anne Lively was her mother with Dr. Heinzman.
Ooh, we might have.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So, okay, we'll save the big spoiler.
Okay.
But yes, so Anne Lively is Agatha's mother, and Agatha wants her mother's
death.
death. She's not just a
vindicated.
missing person; she's actually dead.
Yeah.
Which we don't know just yet, as the viewer watching the movie. But yeah, she was murdered because she wanted her daughter back. And Tom Cruise is trying to piece this together. Like, why do you keep showing me Anne Lively? Oh, it's your mom. And this is where the cops show up to the club. They got to run. This is the mall chase scene,
Yes.
which could have been way shorter.
But like the things they use or the way they use Agatha in this scene, I really liked.
No, I liked it. You actually
Yeah.
get to see what she can do, and now she's seeing stuff in the moment.
Was she seeing stuff in the moment,
Yes.
or did she just know it was happening because she knew the whole time that he was going to kill the guy?
Oh, I think it's I saw it as she's
And-
seeing stuff in this moment.
Oh yeah, because she's now understanding present. So
And she's awake.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think
Or
of
she's
that
like
side.
seeing like super far into the future. She's like, okay, I know how. Not super far, but like enough into the future. She's like, I can pinpoint this to stop this from
I
happening.
know.
She's like,
can,
I know how I'm going to see how we can get out of this.
Yeah.
I got you.
Or you might be right what you just said, Corey, about what leads up to the Leo Crow murder, because this literally takes them right to it.
Yeah.
So you might be right. She might be remembering what she saw already. You're right. I think you're right.
She just knows the pinpoint, like you were saying, the pinpoint moments that will help them get out. And that's why she's saying, stop. This man's briefcase is about to open, which has a magazine of him, which the magazine is moving.
Yeah. The newspapers and magazines update on the fly, which means you never have to buy a newspaper
Never have
again.
to buy one.
That seems like it's killing the newspaper business.
I mean, well, it's not.
Unless you have to pay for that day's issue.
Probably, which is how newspapers kind of work now. You have to subscribe to the...
Right, but... well, it's digital now on the computer. Anyway. But they have physical... That's what's funny. They have physical newspapers that update like a fucking picture in Harry Potter.
Yeah, no such thing as free times anymore like it used to be.
So they're running through this mall, and she's like, that man's about to drop his briefcase. There's a woman in a blue dress.
She's going to identify
So she's going to recognize your face. And then she's just like standing there pointing. He's like...
This woman has no survival instinct. She sees a man walk by, and she's like a cartoon character, pointing with her mouth agape. Oh...
That's a convicted murderer.
Like a child. A child would do that shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Kids don't know not to.
A kid would at least say something.
Hey, did you kill that guy?
She's like...
She's literally just pointing with her mouth open. My favorite one was when they walked past that one lady. She goes, he knows, don't go home. And the woman's just standing there like, what?
She grabs the Asian lady. She's like this, he knows, don't go home. And she's like...
This is kind of what makes me think she's also seeing stuff in the moment.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because that's not important to his vision, but this whole sequence of events leads them right up to Leo Crow.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But she says, grab the umbrella. Mm-hmm. She tells him to wait in the middle of the mall. The cops are on the upper level running around trying to get a visual.
I like this particular part because he's like questioning, he's like, we gotta go. She's like, no, wait. And then...
A balloon.
The balloon comes and like walks in front of him and hides him from the view.
A balloon salesman.
Yeah. But then I like when they get to the end.
I don't know what you would call him. A balloon distributor?
Yeah, a balloon salesman.
Yeah, sure.
But I like when they get to the end and they get to that homeless man.
Oh my god.
And he's like...
She's like, Agatha does this man dirty.
Yeah, he's like, drop the coins. And like, he doesn't even question it. He's like, well, that worked, so this must work.
Yeah, no, the old man's like, you got some change? And Agatha put some change on the ground. Specifically, put it on the ground.
Did she say ground?
She says drop the coins.
Drop it. Okay. She specifically says not to hand it to the man.
Yeah.
She puts it on the floor, and the guy's like, "You could have put it in my hand." And it's like 70 cents.
Not even. It's 4 coins.
Yeah, it's like 2 quarters and 2 dimes. And the old man's going over to get it on his hands and knees, and the cops bust through the door and trip over him. And I was like, "Oh, that poor old man, poor homeless guy." They get outside, and I believe this is where it's raining, and he opens the umbrella, and this was the most unrealistic part of the movie. This many people had umbrellas.
And they're walking in a single file. They're walking the most organized
It reminded
way.
me of all the hats from the Thomas Crown Affair at the end, when they have everyone wearing bowler hats to hide the real thief.
Yeah, because you're telling me not one of those souls didn't think it was going to rain today?
Right? No one has a raincoat just walking through.
They have pre-weather.
They have pre-crime, pre-weather, and future weed.
They're just like, bring your fucking umbrella. You're going to need it.
Yeah.
Their weathermen are 100% right. Because
this
they
isn't
also
like
have...
current weather people who are just fucking it up all the time.
Just guessing. Like Lewis Black said, meteorologist is Latin for liar.
They got weather cogs. They're just like, they're like, oh, it's going to be, I can already feel it. It's getting cold outside.
They wear little rain jackets when they're in their little pool of milk.
That pool milk is gross.
That pool milk is so gross.
It's so gross.
I mean, they got to pee and relieve themselves somehow.
Pool
Yeah,
milk.
nobody thought of that in that clean water.
Wally cleans it.
Yeah, Wally probably does. He probably enjoys it.
Happily. I was about to say happily. He's probably right at
Is
Agatha.
it pool cleaning day? Let me take my gloves off. Wally's weird.
He's losing his fucking mind right now, by the way. Wow, what's his name? He's got Agatha running around.
They have to restrain him.
Because when he steals Agatha, this is kind of where he has a weird character shift. Because we're like, what would he want with Agatha? And Wally's like, so he can kill anybody he wants. But immediately after that, they're like, well, it doesn't really work that way. You kind of need all 3 of them, especially Agatha.
Yeah.
So they
and also, it's not like they have telepathy or anything where they can like. That's what I never understood. It's like, okay, you took a sidekick. You didn't take somebody that can
a telekinetic.
Yeah. It's not he could kill anybody. No, he can just live his normal life with another person beside him.
Yeah.
He took a Charles Xavier, not a Jean Grey.
There you go. There we go.
But so they get away from when the rain stops. They see the billboard. They see the man in the sunglasses that's been in the vision, and this is where no one else has realized this is just an image of a person. He's on a billboard. He's in front of this building. Tom Cruise is like, all right, we need to go into this particular building. And
the whole time, she's like, we don't have to do this.
yeah, she keeps telling him, you can change this. You don't have to know. You don't have to do what the vision said.
You don't have to find these answers. And that was what confused me the whole time, because I might have missed something, but I was like, just don't go and kill him. Like, just don't go there. And guess what? There's no crime.
If you just sit in your hiding spot for 36 hours, and maybe get rid of your gun that you can see yourself using in the vision, then you've already beaten it. You've already proved it wrong. But I think the movie falls apart pretty quick if you try to do that.
Because they had to show that it was a flawed on purpose.
But also, I feel like Tom Cruise he doesn't want it to be wrong.
Right.
Because, if it is wrong, then he has to know, I fucked up.
Yeah.
And I didn't fuck up just a little bit. I fucked up so hard.
There's a little prison floor cell full of people that show that I fucked up bad.
Yeah.
The dilemma is actually a little bit worse in the story, because in the story, like I was telling Adam before, John's character created the pre-crime system in the original story. So once he gets to that point where just like you created a flawed system, now it's just like he's truly directly responsible for all those people who are locked up in there.
Yeah.
It's not just like, okay, I was a police officer working for them.
I was trying to do my job.
Yeah, he literally made the system. So now he's at this point where it's just like, if you prove that you're innocent, you're going to destroy the system that you created, and you wrongly locked up all those people. So it's like a real dilemma that he was in.
Yeah.
6 years, that's a long time.
When they go into the apartment building or the hotel,
like right after he goes up to the floor, like that first room they walked in, nice.
This place is so much nicer than where he got his new eyes.
Yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be that nice.
No. This place looks like a place where I could lay on the bed naked and not feel like I'm going to get crabs.
100% right. I actually like, I have not stayed in a place that looked that good as a hotel.
Oh,
like
man.
On the inside of the room, like I was like, this is a huge room, nice looking bed, it's clean. Not that I go to dirty. It's just like, no, only one time and never again.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like 90. I think it was like $80 a night.
Don't worry, when this podcast takes off, we'll go on a group vacation to celebrate. We'll stay someplace real nice. You hear that, sponsors?
Motel 6.
So they go inside, and we forgot to mention her, but in the vision there was also a little old lady who was smoking a pipe while laughing.
First of all, most out of place character.
Randomest lady.
Yeah, she seemed like she belonged in a different movie.
Pipe tobacco with a tattoo on your forehead that looked.
What got me was just the random laughing.
Yes.
Like she's just sitting there minding her business, smoking a pipe, whatever. But then she just starts laughing like a maniac. That's creepy. That seems like it would belong in a horror film.
But you're in 2050 something where there's like, I don't even see like car exhaust, and you have a old, almost Holmes styled pipe tobacco. And
this is like the pipe. This is like the pipe the Little Mermaid had.
A thingamabob?
A thingamabob, a doohickey, a thingamajig.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that size of a pipe.
Yeah,
it's
I've
big.
got a couple. I got two from my grandpa.
Yeah.
It was my brother's, but.
Yeah, so she's smoking a big pipe like that.
She had pre-future weed in that thing.
Oh my God.
Really
she probably did. She was like, y'all think this is.
She's like, I was smoking some of that pre-weed. I knew you were coming.
This is pre. Not that future.
I mixed it with the future weed. I got pre-future weed.
I'd say right now it puts me in the present.
Right now we're in the pre-future. So he goes up to the hotel clerk and he's like, I need to see the registry. And the guy's like, you can't do that. He pulls the gun out on the counter and he goes, what about now? That guy is actually his cousin. That's Tom Cruise's cousin.
Well, did anybody else know that he was like looking at porn?
No, he definitely was looking at something that he should not have been.
Yeah,
it was like underage.
It was something he shouldn't have been looking on.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
It was like a young.
Lifts the screen around, was that girl on there?
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
No, I was too busy looking at this guy's awful tattoos.
Because he said, I'm on it right now. Flipped it, young girl.
Mm-hmm.
No, I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a creep?
Yeah.
Oh,
Everybody's
no.
a fucking creep in this thing, man.
No, not Tom Cruise's cousin.
But That's why he had to help him get this role.
So he looks on the registry. He finds a Leo Crow. He's in room
06.
109.
Oh.
109.
Was that 1109?
It was 1009.
9.
1109 is Tom Cruise's cell number when he gets locked up at the end.
Okay.
But the hotel room is 1009, and they go up to the room. They go in. It's clean. There's no one there. And he checks the number on the door, and it's loose. So he flips it, and now it's a 6, what it's supposed to be. Which we also kept seeing in the vision. There's a number 6 and a number 9 in the.
I love
the
how they
precog
kept
vision.
showing 69. They kept showing it right
No,
beside.
Corey. They showed the 9 first, then the 6.
It's
I think-
96.
It's 96. Get
Yeah.
your head out of the gutter. You
Yeah,
pre-pervert.
Yeah, we know what they're doing. Yeah, even though there's multiple scenes with sex happening.
So he goes to room 109. He kicks the door open. Someone's very much staying in there. You can see the 2D billboard man outside the window.
Pictures all over the bed.
Yes, of little kids. And
And
it's just
then-
like, this looks so unnatural.
And
Yeah.
then he
Like,
sees
who's going to do that? Take the time to do that.
I was really, because I was like, why?
with
Why
all
is-
the blinds open.
Yeah, why is he
Yeah.
just laying them on there? Like, is he not using the room for
Right.
murder?
He's sleeping on the floor. But Tom Cruise is going through and he finds
his son's photo?
his son's photo. But to top it off, he finds like a photo booth photo, like the 4 consecutive photos of his son with Crow.
Yeah, that one.
And this is where Agatha's like, we got to go. Look, you don't have to do this. You can still make a choice. We can leave. Let's go get some Ben and Jerry's. We saw it at the mall a little while ago.
And that's when he walks in.
Well, at first he says, you're right. I am going to kill this man.
Yeah.
He's like, your vision was right. That's why there's no Minority Report, because I am going to kill this man.
Oh, I'm killing this guy. He is dead.
That's it.
I'm sorry.
But then it
Put me in
turns
those
out
shoes, same thing.
that there is.
not-
Oh, wait, no, there's not, because he does kill him. Okay.
Oh, he would have been getting beaten so much worse than what Tom Cruise was doing to him, though.
Oh, if
Like,
it
he
was,
was throwing the guy around. I
Oh,
was like,
when this guy comes in the room, he's like, you Leo Crow? And the guy's like, yeah. And he rushes at him. Starts beating his ass, throwing
Yep.
him around the room.
and I'll
like,
tell you right now,
what'd you do to my boy?
real life, I'm doing the same thing. Doing the same
Throwing
thing.
him out the window.
Doing
Yeah, I
the
don't even think
same-
a gun would have been involved.
This guy's getting jokered.
Oh, I'm keeping him. I can't say that. We're on recordings.
I'm with you, though. I got
Yeah,
you.
he
I got
will
you.
stay alive.
Yeah, he's going to be a while for a good long while.
Don't you worry, he's going to stay alive.
Dude's a creep.
Not going to enjoy it, though.
So basically, Tom Cruise is like, what'd you do to my boy? Where is he? And the guy's like, he was scared. He seemed lost. I took him to get ice cream.
Dude, when he says I put him in a barrel,
Oh, he put him in
And
a
I
barrel. He threw him
treat-
in the bay.
and I was gentle with him, I wanted to crawl out of my skin.
But we learn
Yes.
in this moment, because Tom Cruise has him at gunpoint. He's
Yeah.
got his Crow has his back to the window. Crow has his back to the window, and John has his gun drawn, and
Starts reading him his rights.
he starts reading him his rights. But the timer goes off. The 36
Yeah.
hours expires.
Snapped him out.
He proved that the system does not work right there, and he starts reading him his rights, and
The guy was like, "You're not going to kill me?" He's like, "No." He's like, "But they said you were going to kill me. My family won't get money unless you kill me. You have to kill me." He's like, "What do you mean they said that?"
he said
like,
the man on the phone said that I had to pretend like I killed your kid and all these kids.
and I'd get paid. My family would get paid.
They would get taken care of. And Tom Cruise is like, huh?
Immediately is like back into now I'm gonna kill you again, and I'm like, no.
Well, it's less
Right.
less Tom Cruise is going to kill him again, and more Tom Cruise is like,
Right.
this was all a setup.
You just feel like it's like, oh man, you just escaped. Don't do it now.
Right. And Crow grabs the gun and like grabs John's
kill
hands.
himself.
And John's like, it's okay. Let go. Let go. It's okay.
But this is where you're like, he has the worst trigger discipline.
Awful. His finger never comes off of the fucking trigger.
Oh, Tom Cruise's?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sticking it straight onto the gun.
The
Like,
rail of the gun,
not-
or
yeah.
put my finger behind the trigger, so he can't pull it himself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the whole time, his finger's on that trigger.
He
And I
was
like,
ready to go.
I was like, motherfucker, move your finger. I mean, if your finger's not there, he can't pull the trigger as easily. But they're wrestling with a gun, and then Crow basically commits suicide here. But it looks like Cruise it looks like John did it, so it looks like the vision still happened, and Agatha's screaming over in the corner.
Oh
she
my
was
God.
killing me with that shit.
Dude,
Yeah.
that immediate...
Yeah, a little bit. She was screaming a little too much in this movie.
But she was also in like these weird positions throughout the room. She was like in a weird frog pose.
When they
Yeah,
were
when he first
fighting,
comes in,
she
yeah.
was like like on the bed beside him. I'm like, what the
Well,
fuck?
I
are you doing?
I think it has to do with the fact that she's still got the drugs in her system because this is the same day. The drugs are still in her system. I think the fact she's not used to being awake, and the fact she's also seeing stuff happen in real time along with vision she's probably having in the moment. Her brain's getting all scrambled and shit.
Oh, no, 100%.
I
She's
mentioned that.
overstimulated.
Oh yeah, that probably was it.
I just
She's-
wouldn't be in those positions on that bed.
Yeah, I was telling Ed, I was just like, why did they have her bent over on the bed like that?
Yeah,
It was like a real frog position with her ass at the edge of the bed.
I was
Right
like,
at their
what?
faces.
It's like, oh my god,
Right.
Samantha.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's why I was like, yo, what up? End of the movie? What you doing?
Like, you know what? I think Wally might have taught you some bad things.
Yeah.
Wally, 100%.
Wally's shouldn't be left alone with the precogs.
No.
With
He need to be arrested too.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
So
That's why he's working there. He's like Dexter, except he's
Oh, no.
covering up his sexual
he's got a
tendencies.
pussy wagon outside like the guy from Kill Bill.
Yep.
So he John leaves his gun there and they leave. I believe the next thing we see is Danny comes back to the movie. Yeah, they're in the hotel room and they're like, "Look, he's dead. He left the gun."
He's like, this isn't right. Because he
An
asked,
orgy of evidence.
he asked the guy, he's like, "This you ever seen a crime scene?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, this is your first one?"
Yeah, 'cause,
this was made.
Because Fletcher
Yeah.
Fletcher was a treasury agent before he became a cop, so he's never seen a murder before.
Which I feel like would be a funner job, personally. As a person that works in finance, when you get like weird finance crimes, you get like, it's so much fun. You're like, oh shit.
Oh no,
Yeah, that digging, you're going to be like, they took how much money? From where? And gave it to who?
I can't wait to find it.
So
But yeah, he
Immediately-
100%, yeah.
yeah, Danny immediately is like, this doesn't seem right.
He knew right when he
This
walked
seems
in
like
there.
a setup.
And motherfucker called it out.
He was right.
And he was like, you know what we call this? An orgy of evidence. You know how many orgies I've had in my
Yeah.
time in
Yeah,
I didn't know
How many
how to.
orgies you been to, Fletcher?
I didn't know how to respond to that. I was like, they call that. That's what they call it in the
I was like,
field?
really? We're talking about orgies right now?
I'm gonna talk
Right
to my
now.
buddy. I'll be like, hey, do y'all have like orgies a lot?
Yeah,
Orgies
next time
of
you're at your old
evidence?
job. Man, my old job, we just have fucking orgies a problem. You guys have orgies here?
But it was like
Fired.
really funny because
HR.
he was like, do you know how many orgies I've had in my time in homicide? 0. And I was like, I wouldn't announce that. My
No,
God.
he said he's had a lot.
No, he said I've never had any orgies.
Yeah, he said 0.
Oh, okay. My bad. But yeah, so
How many orgies?
Danny goes back to reviewing the Anne Lively footage because they discovered that, and John goes to Laura's place.
Yeah, this is where
Lara?
he goes.
Lara.
Lara's.
This is where he goes.
It
in
was
the
like their
car.
summer home. Like they had a little cottage by the lake, and they used to go there when their son was alive.
Yeah, what kind of money is he making as a pre-crime, or what was she doing?
Yeah, we don't ever find out what she does. It looks like she's a photographer, based on because Colin Farrell went to see her earlier in the film, which it wasn't that super important of a scene, but he basically like, have you talked to John? Do you still talk to him ever since your son died? He's being real nasty and aggressive, and at some point she's like, I need you to leave.
I don't know.
Because he mentions also about her divorce papers mention that he was suicidal, and she goes, he wasn't suicidal. I regret saying that. He was watching some video of Sean, and he had his gun, and he shot his gun into the ceiling,
Wait,
which led to their divorce.
you mean?
John.
Yeah,
This is when Danny goes to see Lara.
there we go. I was hearing the wrong names for a second. I was like, no, so and so went and saw her.
Yeah, and he's got the obnoxious gum chewing. This was early on. We totally
Right.
skipped over it because it's not super important.
She's like, we don't have creamer. Actually, we don't have sugar either.
Yeah, how you like your coffee? You know, I'm black with sugar. And he says something that she doesn't like. She goes, you know what? I'm actually out of sugar.
He asked immediately about John, and she's like, we don't have it.
Yeah. Oh, Danny also got into an argument with Lamar earlier in the film that we missed, and he mentions Sean again. He goes, the man was grieving his son was died.
Yeah.
And Danny's like, 6 years ago. His kid's been dead for 6 years. You knew he was on these drugs, and you didn't do anything about it. And Lamar's like, well, you know, shit happens. Get out of my office, you prick.
It's just drugs. It's
Tired
just
of you
weed.
chewing with your fucking mouth open. Shit. But I believe now that Crow is actually dead. I believe this is where Danny
confronts,
calls Lamar, and he tells him, "Hey, come over to John's place.
Yeah.
I found something that doesn't seem right. I need to show it to you." And he's like, "Look, this is John's gun. We found it at the crime scene where he killed Crow."
He's like, "Oh, I remember giving him that gun."
Yeah, he gave John that gun. He mentions in a brief throwaway line. And Danny basically says, "All right, here's how this works. Here's what I think happened.
Here's the flaw."
Here's the flaw.
And this might be the dumbest thing that he does in this movie. Because he's all alone with this man who...
All right, I'm going to say it now. Max von Sydow is the villain of this film.
Well, you find out right here.
This is where we find out.
Because
Lamar is the bad guy.
Right when Danny realizes, like, he's explaining it to...
Wait, let's explain. Because his explanation, and this shows how good this man is at his fucking job.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Because he's showing the Anne Lively precog vision. Her being drowned in the lake.
He shows the waves.
Yes, he goes, "No, look right here. Look at the waves. They're heading away from shore, or they're heading toward the shore." Now,
away at the beginning, and then towards at the end.
All right, so it's two different precog visions, and he goes, "All right, right here they're heading away from shore. Now, if you watch this one, they're heading toward shore." I think this happened. They're actually, one was the vision and one was a different vision, but they're so similar that, and the technicians are trained that if there's an echo like that, to just get rid of it. So I think what happened was someone was supposed to attack Anne Lively, and they stopped it, and then the person that's really behind it went back right afterward and killed her for real, and because it looked like an echo to the precog, the exact same crime, the killer was wearing the exact same outfit, that the technician was trained to just delete it.
And while he's... Oh, my bad.
No, go ahead.
And while he's explaining it, he's like talking like it's like a normal he's talking about it's like a normal run of the mill person, and he catches himself when he's looking right at Lamar, and he's like, "I actually really trained," and he like catches himself because he realizes he's the one that did it. He realizes Lamar did it.
Well, what he says is, it couldn't just be anyone. And he turns and walks toward the wall where the recording is. He goes, and it would have to be someone high up with some really good access. And Lamar says, "Shut up, Danny." He's like, "Do you know what I hear? I don't hear any sirens. I don't hear any cops. You know why? Because the precogs aren't working right now." And he shoots Danny in the heart, or he shoots him in the chest. And this is really great. Another really good moment from Colin Farrell. When he gets shot and he's sliding down the wall, he looks at his chest and then he like looks up and he kind of smiles. And he's like, "Holy shit, I was right." He's like, "I got you, motherfucker. I'm dead, but god damn, I'm good." But that was the dumbest thing where he's like, where he realizes that it's someone high up. And instead of keeping that to himself, he says it out loud. And Lamar's like, "Well, son, I gotta kill you."
Because he's like, there's only two. Like, I guess like he realizes like there's only two people it could be. One's on the road, the other's in the room with me. So he's like,
or it could have been Hyman.
It could have. But
she was high up.
But does she have the access?
I don't know. We never talked about
he
it.
knew.
But she created it, so I imagine she has some access.
He knew it wasn't her because the stature in the movie, and that woman is not holding a younger woman down.
That's true. It is a mannish figure in the vision, wearing a black trench coat, a black freaking balaclava, and
tall
some ski goggles.
A tall man.
Tall, almost like they're 6'4".
Yeah.
Almost like Max von Sydow.
Yep.
But he walks over to Danny, who's bleeding against the wall, and Danny kisses his little pendant one last time, and he shoots him in the face, which we don't see. The way they block it is kind of good though, because
the smoke was terrible.
Well, the way they blocked it, I was like, is he about to pee on him? Like,
yeah, R. Kelly style.
Because Max von Sydow walks up, and the way it's shot is you're looking basically at Max von Sydow's ass from the waist down, and you can see Danny's body through his legs, and Lamar's coat is blocking Danny's face, and then he shoots him in the face. Erica immediately laughed. She's like, "Is he gonna pee on him?"
That whole scene, I was like, "What is this? Is this a dominance thing?"
Right? I was like, "What?"
Well, Lamar won.
Yeah.
Lamar also leaves the gun there, and he puts it in like the one spot of the room that has a perfect little spotlight over it. Is this where Laura calls him, and he says, or she tells him that John having so much trouble. Where John is at her cottage,
Yes.
and he brought the precog there. Mm-hmm. And Lamar says, "Well, that's fine. Just keep him there. I'll be there shortly." They're talking about. John tells Lara about how he was set up.
Well, he's like, I just can't believe all this stuff.
Our dogs are wrestling again. I'm sorry, everybody.
Because he's like standing on the dock at the lake or the pond, and
On this one-sided dock, or
one
There's
rail
there's
side.
Yeah.
rail.
It's such a. I mean, this thing
Erica
is
was
set
like,
up.
"We should call OSHA."
yeah, I was like, that's not Passion OSHA.
And they're like going over, and he's just talking about how he's figuring out how he's getting set up, and this and
Yeah.
that, and how the guy
Crow did not kill our son. It was a setup. They wanted me to kill him. And honestly, all of this only happened because he saw the vision at the beginning when the ball first dropped.
'Cause
If
if-
he hadn't been there to see it,
He would have never called. What's his name?
he never would have called. He never would have found out. Or actually, I'm sorry. No, all of this started because he saw the vision of Anne Lively when Agatha first grabs him at the beginning. So if they had never gone down into that room and he had never found out about Anne Lively, none of this would have happened. Because he finds out about Anne, he goes to the archive, finds out there's footage from Agatha that's missing. He immediately takes that to Lamar. Then Lamar has everything arranged for Leo Crow, and that's what sets all of this up. Him mentioning her to Lamar, that's what the string of events that caused all of this.
Agatha knew how to get out.
Agatha knew all along.
She knew how to get out.
So he's telling her, Crow didn't kill our son. He is probably dead though. Agatha's in his room, and she
Is telling them a story.
About what could happen? Could have
what
happened?
could have
I
happened.
couldn't tell if she was like fairy tale telling, or if she
This
could
isn't-
have seen what happened if his son was never
Yeah.
killed.
I think this is more like if Sean was still alive,
That's what I was wondering.
this is how his life probably would have gone.
And then she cuts it right in. But he wasn't fast enough to run, so he got grabbed. I'm like, damn.
Something like that.
And he's
He's
like,
he wasn't fast like his father.
Tom Cruise is like, why did it have to end so bad? And she's
Yeah.
like, it ended bad for her. I
She
was
said,
like, first
she
of
says
all,
but he's still just 6 years old or some shit.
couldn't run away.
Yeah, it's real sad. Like the parents are like having a real moment. It's sweet in a way.
She also mentioned something about the dead people helping or something
Yeah.
like that.
They
I
always
can't
help
remember
find the killer or
Yeah,
something.
I can't remember exactly what it was.
Oh, I didn't hear
I'm
that.
not sure about that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
vaguely
replay it.
remember her saying something
Yeah.
like that, but I don't remember what the exact words were.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
can't either.
dead help guide us or something.
Yeah, they're not really gone. Something. Okay, yeah. She says something like that. They're not really gone.
Shout out to
They're
Star
not
Wars.
dead, but they're also not alive. Because she's talking about her mother, and she's looking at the little Tom Cruise. John still has the little copy of the memory of Anne Lively, and Agatha's looking at it, and
Which is surprising that it's still in his pocket the way he was throwing Leo around.
right, or the way he was crashing with the jetpack.
Yeah.
It's just a thin little glass plate.
And this is where they come to the property, right?
Yeah, she has that thing where she's like, "Well, I need you to do something for me right now, John."
Oh, my
And
God.
she just screams in his face to run, and all the pre-cops show up, and their little ships in this moment reminded me of Boba Fett's ship. Like, there's one that was out over the water, and I was like, well, it either looks like a croissant or it looks like Slave One. I mean, that's what the ship's called.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Damn.
I didn't write that. That was someone else, someone named George.
George Lucas.
But yeah, so they show up. They finally get John. He makes the smallest bit of effort to run, and someone pushes him back.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, never mind.
He's like, I guess I'll give up now.
But this is where he finds out that Danny was murdered because
They
is about to
blamed him.
halo him.
They blamed him for it.
Yeah, they pinned it on him. It was his apartment, his gun. They can't say it wasn't him because they don't have the precogs working. They halo him, and as they halo him,
I would have been like, you can ask this precog. The most powerful precog. Was I
precog
there?
this.
Right.
But they're
The
like,
precog that was there, the witness, they have proof that she was the witness in the room.
yeah. But
That
they-
also proves that he was paid to act like this. I'm like, you got all that.
But none of that was in the vision. They probably aren't going to trust her because she's half conscious and doped up. But they This is a moment where you can really see that he's got different eyes.
Oh yeah,
Just because the way the light is hitting his eyes right here, they look starkly different from how they did earlier.
It made
in the
me
film.
feel like he had dilated eyes after he did the swap. They looked dilated the entire time.
Yeah.
And red.
But they're like, red, and the surrounding around his eyes are still purple.
It's that future weed.
Yeah.
Does some wild things.
It takes the pain away, but it's not going to help with that bruising. And they're like, look, you're under arrest for Leo Crow and Danny Whitmer.
Yeah.
I imagine they would have called him Daniel at this moment.
They just said Danny.
Danny. Everyone calls him Danny.
Maybe his God-given name is Danny.
I mean, maybe.
D-A-N-I. D-A-N-N-Y.
God, name.
So he gets put into the little future jail.
And what's his name? Was like, you're finally a part of my...
You're part of my collection
There
now,
we go.
John. I'm Gideon.
With one of the weirdest out-of-place country accents.
He
for
sounds
this.
creepy almost. Like
It's-
almost like a southern cult leader.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And he has the energy of it.
He does.
Like he could be running a cult in Waco.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he plays an organ later in the film.
They
Randomly!
I love how
Well,
he's
he
like,
says he says that it helps calm them down.
they like the
They
music.
like the music.
And they're not like, I don't know, Bluetooth speakers?
Well, what cracks me up is I was like, yeah, because they can respond to you.
Yeah.
But this is also when they jump to the award ceremony or
Laura goes to visit Lamar. Lamar's putting his suit on.
Yeah, that's right. She does visit before he walks down.
And he goes, I'm just trying to stick on to see if it fits. I haven't worn it in a long time.
He's talking about everything and
That he told her, he's like, look,
the
John said he was being set up. Leo Crow didn't really kill our son. And then he says something about...
the drowning of that woman.
Well, no. At first, he turns around, he's putting on his cufflinks, and she says, who's Ann Lively? And when she says that, that's where he slips and he stabs himself in the finger.
Yep.
And he's like, I've never heard of her before. And she goes, John said something about Ann Lively being Agatha's mother. And he's like, well, I don't know anything about that. And he goes, and he's really quick to always change the subject. Like he did this earlier in the film when John first brought up Ann Lively. He starts talking about his cold. And then he immediately flips over to Lara. And then he talks about Sean. He knows that's going to distract him from Ann Lively. Mm-hmm. And in this moment, he's like, can you help me tie my tie? I'm so terrible at this. He's helping her, or she's helping him tie the tie. And he goes, look, tell you what I'm going to do. First thing in the morning, I'm going to go down to the archives. I'm going to pull up any information on any woman that drowned with the name Ann Lively.
There we go.
And as Laura's tying his tie, she lets it go, and she's just like deer in the headlights, and she just says, I never said she drowned.
And it was at this moment I was like, oh, he's going to kill her too.
I thought.
Yep.
Oh, the look on his face,
Because
he's like, you dumb, stupid motherfucker. She's
When
never
Tom-
mentioned shit.
With Tom in prison, I was like, this is how it fucking ends.
Oh,
Yep.
it was great though. He stands up, and this is really where you get a good sense of how big he was. Mm-hmm. And he just moves that chair out of the way, and he gets right in her face. And his assistant's like, "Sir, the meeting, the conference has started." He goes, "I'll be right there." He goes, "Tell you what, I'll come to the cottage tomorrow, and we can talk about this." He's just towering over this woman. It's like the chair thing was creepy, so that's definitely a threat.
When you think you have all the power,
right?
And you're just. Because I love when he finds out. When he gets the phone call from.
Oh, when
because they're
at the conference.
Yeah, they're doing the award ceremony. Everything's going fine and dandy, but she goes down to the archives.
Yes,
with Tom's gun.
Yeah, because there was a box of his belongings there,
and
one of them was his gun,
and it's highlighted with the shadow from the light.
Yep,
and it's like. The gun.
I love that his eyeball was in there too.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Well, she uses it to get in.
Because
she goes to put the gun to Gideon's head, and he turns. He goes, "How'd you get in here? You don't have access." And she sets the eyeball on the organ keys. And she goes, "I'd like to talk to my husband, please." Mm-hmm. And then we see Lamar being gifted a ceremonial gold-plated pistol at this award ceremony, and
little six-shooter.
Yeah. And apparently that has been voted for pre-crime to go live across the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not have had my vote.
No.
There's no chance that more than half of anywhere would vote for that.
I mean, it's a nice idea. Yeah, you're stopping murder, but you're arresting people who haven't committed a crime.
Yeah.
My thing is there's just no niceness about it. There's none because you're taking people's rights away immediately for a thought that they can't control.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar gets a phone call on his little earpiece phone, and his assistant picks it up. Oh, yeah, right away. Sir, you have a call on your secure line? He goes, yes, this is Lamar Burgess. And it's just Tom Cruise. Hello, Lamar. He's like, I bet you weren't expecting to hear from me. And Laura calls Jad. Jad?
Yep.
At their headquarters. She goes, look, I need you to do something for me. And he's doing the little glass plate analog moving data around.
Oh my god!
And the people in the room are like, Jad, you really want to think about this before you do it. You really need to think about this before. You sure you want to do this? And he's broadcasting Agatha's complete, uninterrupted vision of her mother's murder downstairs to the ballroom where they're having their little conference.
Exactly. Also, last thing. Don't ask me if I want to do what I'm about to do when I'm helping show that people are being put to jail for no reason.
Right?
Also to prove that our boss didn't really.
So you want to tell me that
anyone.
I need to cover up two murders so I could put an innocent man in jail?
3 now. Anne Lively was murdered. Danny was murdered. And Leo Crow was murdered.
Oh, I forgot about Leo.
Yeah. 3 murders.
Three, just so I can put a man in jail.
One was a suicide.
Leo's was a suicide.
I'm gonna blame Lamar on that one. Lamar put him in that situation. So what basically happens on this phone call is Tom Cruise recaps the entire subplot of this film, which basically what happened was Anne Lively was a junkie. She gave her daughter up to these people. She got clean. She came back. She wanted her child back. And Lamar wasn't going to let that happen because without Agatha, there would be no pre-crime.
Yeah.
So what he did was he hired a man to put on that outfit and attempt to kill Agatha.
So he could kill her afterwards.
The cops showed up, arrested him, stopped it. And this is the part that kind of seemed weird to me because earlier in the film they have a pre-crime like counselor that when they rescue Anne Lively, they just leave.
Yeah.
They just dipped right out of there. They're like, fuck it, we're gone. Hey, you good? We'll see you later.
Yeah.
And she's left there alone at the shore, and Lamar walks up, and he's wearing a brown trench coat, and she's like, where's my daughter? And he goes, oh, she's right over there. Just turn around. Don't face me for a second. When she turns around, he takes the coat off, and it's kind of goofy, but it's a reversible coat, and he's got a black coat on underneath. He puts that on, then he puts on the ski mask and the goggles, and he commits the crime that the precog saw, and the technician just saw it as an echo, and they deleted it. So Anne Lively's being labeled as a missing person. She's actually been dead this whole time.
All along, if you will.
Oh, shut up. and
wow.
all the people downstairs at this little party see all of that.
I'm watching the whole
all
thing.
of it. And it's funny, when he puts the mask on and pulls it down over his face, people start screaming. It's like, you should have started screaming before that because you know where this is going.
Yeah, why would he have stayed there?
Right. And so he's like, well, my goose is cooked. And Tom Cruise is on the phone with him, chasing him. They're playing a little cat and mouse through the hotel kitchen.
He's just screaming through the kitchen.
Well, that's not until
he says
Lamar mentions Sean. And that's when Tom Cruise is like, don't you ever say his name. And he's shouting through the kitchen. He's saying, you use that against me. You knew I would do anything because of the trauma from losing my son.
Meanwhile, it drops a red ball for Tom Cruise's character.
Yes, upstairs in the office. Yes,
he's going to emotionally kill Lamar.
No. This time the victim is John.
No, it dropped twice.
No, victim.
It dropped 2 balls. The victim was John, and the perpetrator is Lamar.
But the balls aren't the victims.
No.
There's one for the victim.
1 ball is the victim. 1 ball is the perpetrator.
The victim drops first, and the perpetrator drops second.
But it's only ever dropped 1 ball at a time.
We got the 1 ball dropped for the victim is going to be John, and the other ball that dropped, the perpetrator, is going to be Lamar.
Which blew my mind. So, okay, now I get it. But then why was Tom's red?
Because Tom's
but then Lamar's was brown.
They're both red, I'm pretty sure. Because this is going to be an in-the-moment kill. It's not premeditated.
Exactly. That's what threw me off.
No.
I think
they're both red.
I'll look back at it. Because if I'm already confused about 2 balls dropping, I know I could be confused about colors.
Well, I mean, we can't be too confused about balls dropping. I mean, it happened to us a long time ago.
Speak for yourselves.
I wish. Mine ain't dropped.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Little coin purse.
So basically now Lamar has a dilemma. Everyone knows Lamar killed this lady, and he has a choice to make right now. He can kill John and prove that pre-crime works and get locked up forever, or he can not kill John and he can disprove pre-crime, therefore making it unusable,
Prove that it doesn't work.
prove that it doesn't always work.
I was just going off the fact of, should I own up for what I did and apologize to the guy I was going to put in jail for life?
He does apologize to him right after he shoots himself in the belly, because he gets real close to John and he's like, I'm sorry. And he shoots himself.
No, he's not even, I'm sorry. He's like, forgive me, John. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, but as he's dying, he's like, I'm sorry, my boy.
Because I thought he was, because it made it look like he shot Tom Cruise.
Right, because they got so close together, and they both flinch when the gun goes off.
And Cruise like reacts like, I've been shot.
Yeah.
Lamar's like,
and he falls down dead. Now we have shots of the pre-crime station just abandoned. They've shut it down because they prove that, hey, we can't use this shit. It has flaws, just
it's
like
like
Danny
2 years
said.
later, I think.
No, it's the same year.
Oh, okay.
He says 2054.
it was just like a couple days.
It had to have been.
No, because her. It
Oh,
flashes
yeah,
back
it was-
to.
No, I'm saying it had to have been just for them to shut it down.
Oh.
It couldn't
Yeah.
have taken that long for them to shut it down.
It was like
but it's been a
months.
while because now all the
have
Arthur and Dashiell and Prancer and Donner and Vixen,
They all have
the
hair.
precogs are all like living out in a cabin in the middle of nowhere where they're away from people, where their powers aren't going to really affect them too much. So they can finally have some fucking peace.
Yeah, they're on a house on a just circular island in the middle of what looks like a lake or something.
It looks very
Yeah, just
Isolated,
picturesque.
yeah.
and John and Lara are back together, and she's pregnant with another baby, Sean
Yeah.
too. Hope don't take this one to a pool.
R.I.P.
That kid's never learning to swim.
I was
Like,
gonna say it.
That kid's on a backpack on a leash.
That kid, like, Daddy, can we go to the pool? Don't you ever talk about the pool.
Can I take a bath now? You'll never get in water.
You're using dry shampoo. And that's pretty much it. They shut down pre-crime. They can't prove it works. The twins the
Happy.
precogs are happy, living out in the middle of nowhere, free, reading books. John is back with his wife. They're about to have another kid.
He's got closure from his son.
He doesn't really have closure from his son necessarily because he still doesn't know what happened to his son.
Oh, that's fair.
But
Enough closure to get
Agatha's
back
mother
together.
got justice, which is what's really important. And the twins are no longer
being used.
being used like lab rats. Also, all the people who've been arrested for the pre-crimes got released,
Yep.
and they are all being monitored
closely
just in case anyone gets any ideas.
which is fair because, like, I'm not gonna say fair as in forever,
Mm-hmm.
but like especially like right off a release, it's like, well, let's just watch because I mean,
Like parole.
they were going
Some of
do
those
it.
people, like if it's premeditated, you intended to hurt someone.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's just like in the moment, like the guy from the beginning, Henry,
Yep.
that's a act of violence driven by passion. So that's just kind of he's probably not going to want to do that again.
Probably he's the luckiest guy out of everybody who's ever been locked up in there. He was only in there for like 3 days.
Yeah, he wasn't locked up very long.
because like what is that, like third degree or something like that, where it's like just it's just called
Crime of passion.
involuntary.
Yeah, a crime of passion is the term I could not find in
Yeah.
my brain.
Yeah, crime of passion.
But that's Minority Report, everybody. Go around, and I'm going to save Jeremy for last on this one.
We saw a theory
Uh-huh.
last night.
Go ahead.
Where they don't think the ending is as what we think it is.
He's still trapped in there
He's
and
still-
he's just living it out.
yeah.
It's convenient that Lamar left the gun. It's convenient that someone as methodical as Lamar dropped the ball and mentioned she drowned.
Mm-hmm.
That his eye still worked and his wife had it. It's just maybe this is all in his head. He's still locked up.
This is like whatever island.
That is actually very on brand for this author.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of his stories where
The
You know
ending
how-
sucks.
the ending does not get. It's not a happy ending, so to
Yeah.
speak. Like a lot of his
Not-
stories are not happy endings.
It reminded me a lot of once we saw the theory, the guy referenced the ending of Inception, and I was like, oh yeah, that's brilliant.
Funnily enough, that they say that Inception also borrowed some themes from Ubik.
That feels right.
Crazy.
Very
He was.
on brand for this writer.
Like I was saying a second ago, we're going to go around and we're going to give our final thoughts and say if we would have regretted seeing this in theaters. Corey, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I would have definitely watched this in movie theaters.
Yeah, you've been happy seeing this?
Yeah, I've been fine with it. I love long movies. Like, it's my favorite. With Tom Cruise, I'm used to the running, so it just feels normal.
Literally.
Eric?
I did not like this movie. Not a big fan. This is definitely a dad movie. I am not a dad movie girl. Like, if my dad liked it, there's a good chance I did not like it. And my dad loves this movie. Not a big fan.
So if you're saying if we had saw this in the theater, you would have regretted it?
Immediately.
Oh, good.
At 10 years old, hell yeah, not a fan.
So I'll say the same. When I first watched this movie, I watched it around the time it came out. I was like 12 or 13. Did not a huge fan of it at the time. Rewatching it now, I liked it more. But I think if I had seen this in theaters now, I would have regretted it. Not my favorite movie. The premise is kind of twisted.
The way it's shot sucks.
Oh, that's the worst part. The way it looks. I mentioned at the beginning, this movie looks terrible. But just the fact that you're taking people's free will away when they haven't done anything wrong, it's not a good system. I like the main story. I like this man's being framed for something, and then it comes to find out there's a deeper plot going on around him. I liked all that, but I would not have been happy if I had to pay for this in theaters. Jeremy?
At the time that it came out, if I had seen it, I probably would not have liked it that much. I probably would have been like, it's okay, because I wasn't as interested in sci-fi at the time. I was more of a martial arts movies kind of person.
Hell yeah.
But definitely, if I had seen it now, well, I mean, as I am now, I liked it. Watching it, I think I watched it Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read the story as well, because being able to compare and contrast what was going on in the both of them kind of gave me a better appreciation for both of them, because I understood that there were going to be several things they were going to need to change and flesh out in order to turn that into a 2.5 hour movie?
Almost.
So there was a lot of stuff that they had to add. So that whole B plot, the subplot with Agatha and
Her mother?
Yeah, with her mother. It was good that they added that, because that definitely was not in the original story. And then him being over pre-crime in the way it he was going to be over it at the end in order for him to keep them from taking it away from them. That was good that they changed it that way as opposed to what they had in the story. I will say the way the precog system worked, though, is kind of confusing, because it's just like, oh yeah, you get a minority report if like one of the psychics disagrees with what the other two saw or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
They three visions, and the computer automatically puts together the most similarities. So the vision that has the least similarities is considered the minority report.
Well, she said that only rarely happened.
Doesn't always happen.
Right.
But it will. So I think because Agatha's the strongest, I think they mentioned it's going to more likely happen with her. But I might be remembering that wrong.
So in the original story, it's a little bit different the way it works. There's like a lot of situational stuff, and then the way it worked in the book, because they saw the visions kind of like at slightly different times. So you know how like a split second thing can completely change what happens in the future. So one of the psychics in the story saw that he was going to kill the guy. So when John saw his name drop out of the machine, that changed the future. The second psychic saw that future
and said he's not going to do it.
That it changed the future. So the second psychic saw a different future than the first one. So John finding out that he was set up made the third psychic see a different future. So there were actually three different visions in the story. Like no three of the psychics saw the same thing. So it was just like, it was kind of confusing. So in the movie, there was no minority report. There were literally three different reports in the story.
Okay.
So like none of them were the same. But it was only because John saw what was going to happen is what changed it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking in the movie, a big part of it plays into the fact that John has a choice. If John hadn't made the decision not to shoot him, then it would have played out exactly like they saw. Right. But they only saw it up to that moment. John went past that moment because he made a choice. I am not going to kill this man.
Right.
But like you just said, a big part of that plays into he already saw the vision.
Yep.
He already saw it.
So it's a little bit confusing
Which makes
how the
him
precog system
an
works.
idiot.
How is he an idiot?
Because he literally, like we said before, he could have just been like, I'm gonna hide out in this car for like 2 days, a day and a half, make sure it's passed, and then.
Well, a lot of this plays into, and I jokingly say this quote to Erica when I rope her into falling for one of my jokes, but it's like that. It's that quote of, "A man often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it." And that's kind of what happened to Tom Cruise in this movie. Like, he saw what was going to happen to him.
Like
and,
Oedipus.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. Like, it happened because he
knew it was happening.
He knew it was going to happen, but also at the same time, if he hadn't gone to take Agatha, if he hadn't gone through the mall and ended up in front of that building, he would have never ended up in that room with Leo Crow.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, everything played out exactly how it had to, even though he was like, I'm not going to kill this man because I don't even know who he is. Mm-hmm. Well, you led yourself right to him in a way.
Yep.
By trying to prove your innocence, you went right to where you were trying to avoid.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. So, anyone want to take a guess what you would have paid to see this in the theater? Back in 2002.
$9.34.
$7.65.
$5.
Damn, Jeremy's on it.
Every time.
$5.81 was the average in 2002.
Damn.
Man, Jeremy's winning. So that's our conversation on Minority Report. 2 out of the 4 of us wouldn't have regretted seeing this in theaters. 2 of us would have. So next week, or our next episode, I should say. You want to tell them? You know what we're doing?
I have no idea what we're doing.
We are doing Back to the Future.
Oh, really?
Which was Erica's pick.
Never seen it.
Yep. I might have seen it when I was a kid, but I certainly don't remember it.
I don't remember anything either.
Nope. So that's going to be exciting. So join us in 2 weeks for our talk on Back to the Future.
Such a good movie.
I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Corey.
I'm Jeremy.
We've been getting to the theater. We'll see you guys later.